Welcome to a place for those in search of truth and conviction, a place where we discuss culture, politics, philosophy, and everything in between. I'm Luke, and I'm here with Russ. This is Hardly, Strictly Politics.
Hell yes, dear listener, the HSP boys are back in the saddle once again for episode number 33. Thank you so much for jumping in the saddle with us. What a white-pilling week. The HSP boys are so tired of all this winning, we almost didn't do a show this week, but here we are. We're on this trail today for two separate reasons, and two separate reasons only, and that is for you, dear listener. Two separate continents, two separate countries, two separate hangovers. HSP boys burned it down last night, let me tell you what. Two separate adult beverages just to make it fair, with a solemn agreement to not start drinking until we hit the red record button today. Two separate fact shamings, two separate sore-ass persons, two separate trails to the same inevitable conclusion, two separate threes in the house. Now, I love the number 33 as we detailed in the last episode, number 32. Perfect divisibility into 3 and 11, which is two separate ones, which means nothing but hashtag winning. The last few trails have been tough, dear listener. We're taking the easy trail this week, the beautiful trail. We're going to do some sightseeing this week, so let's not tarry. Let's saddle up and ride into episode number 33, which is in the house, presently. Find us on Facebook at Zero Gravity Med. Same thing on Twitter at Zero Gravity Med. And you can always find us right here in our own house. Send us email at feedback@zero-gravity-media.com. That's feedback at zero-gravity-media.com. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and TuneIn, all three under Zero Gravity Media. Find us on YouTube. Look for Zero Gravity Media and our Zero G logo. No short snippets this week, dear listener, but they're coming and they will keep on coming. And check out our website. Luke has done a wholesale redesign of our website this week. I think it's fantastic if I do say so myself, which I do. So well done, Luke. Great work, and thank you so much for your efforts. That's zero-gravity-media.com. Leave us some feedback and let us know if it's working for you. zero-gravity-media.com/contact. As always, dear listener, send us any articles you may wish to write. We'd be delighted and honored to host you on our website. Now, like I just said, Luke's been burning the midnight oil on the redesign, so no articles yet, but they cometh. They cometh immediately, dear listener, so watch this space. So how much are we winning this week, dear listener? Well, let me give you the rundown. We are winning in Shreveport, Baton Rouge, and New Orleans, Louisiana. We are winning in St. Louis, Kansas City, and Wichita. We are winning in Salt Lake City and Roosevelt, Utah. We are winning in Vancouver, Seattle, Portland, Eugene, and Salem. We are winning bigly in San Francisco, San Jose, Redding, Chico, Sacramento, Santa Rosa, Bellflower, LA, Santa Monica, Salinas, Long Beach, San Diego, Bakersfield, San Bernardino, and Indio, California. Way to throw down this week, California. We're going to save your state together, believe that. We are winning bigly in Mesa, Arizona, Tucson and Phoenix, Flagstaff and Sedona, Albuquerque, Gallup, Snowflake, and Roswell, New Mexico. Now, Texas, you got to step up. California is nipping at our heels, but nonetheless, and even still, we are winning bigly in Waxahachie, Waco, Wichita Falls, Mexia, bigly in College Station, Galveston, the Woodlands, bigly in Houston proper, Conroe, Alvin, Killeen, San Antonio, Burke Burnett, Amarillo, Dallas, Rowlett, Plano, bigly in Arlington, Texas, McKinney, Allen, Farmersville, Frisco, Tyler, Gun Barrel City, and Athens. Way to represent Texas. Someday we might even teach Austin how to win again, but I doubt it. We're winning in OKC, Tulsa, Norman, and Ardmore, Little Rock, Arkansas, and Fayetteville. We're winning in Memphis, Nashville, and Tazewell, Tennessee. We're winning in Gainesville, Miami, Tampa, West Palm Beach, and Fort Lauderdale. We're winning in Atlanta, Athens, and Macon and Marietta, Georgia, Savannah, Georgia. Oh, and I almost forgot. We're also winning in Birmingham and Auburn, Alabama, Jackson and Biloxi, Mississippi in the house. We're winning bigly each and every week in Ashburn, Virginia, Richmond, Virginia Beach, and West Point. We are winning bigly in D.C., and boy, are we ever, and we're going to tell you all about it, dear listener. We're winning in New York and Boston. We're winning in Tunbridge Wells, London, Manchester, Liverpool, Leeds, Belfast, and Glasgow. We are winning in Warsaw, Kiev, and Budapest. We are winning in Moscow, Hong Kong, Da Nang, Ho Chi Minh City, Bangkok, Sydney, and Melbourne. Good day, mates. And that's only about half the list right there, dear listener. We are riding together worldwide. We are growing stronger together, and we are winning together. So let me shut up about it and stop preening, and let's get on and let's ride and win some more this week, dear listener. This week starts off with a celebratory shot, something warm for the trail. Assuming you're not operating heavy machinery or anything like that, dear listener, feel free to hit pause, pour one up, and join the HSP boys in this celebratory shot. Luke, I got mine right here in hand. You got yours ready?
Yeah, I got mine ready.
All right. So you want to take the shot first, or you want to tell dear listener how we're changing stuff up this week?
Let's do the shot first, and then we'll
right.
we'll
yeah, I agree.
Shot
Shot first. Yeah. I agree. All right. Yep.
Cheers, man.
All right. Here it is, brother. Cheers, man. Cheers.
All right. Let's have a good show.
Oh, woo. No, man, that went down hard.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. A couple other little shout outs too that we've had. We've had a couple listeners in India, Poland, Netherlands, Vietnam, and Ukraine. So shout outs to our newcomers to the party.
Dang. White pilling news. I had no idea. All right.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah. So dear listener, we're going to change it up a little bit this week. We have, it's been kind of one of those weeks where it just feels a little bit different. The weather's changing. Spring is we are in full on spring now at this point. America has already hit daylight savings time. Europe is, like always, a little bit behind in adopting greatness, but they do nonetheless. They always do in the end. So
yeah.
Our daylight savings time here in Europe kicks in at 2 a.m. my time. We may just very well span daylight savings change.
Dang.
Russ.
Yeah, that's probably true.
If we go
man.
long
it's
enough.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm on forced vacation this week because I couldn't use all my I didn't use all my vacation and I had to use it. And we've been at this show now, Russ, for 24 straight weeks for sure, without break or interruption. Sometimes even doing multiple shows per week. Oftentimes, I'd say most of those weeks, one or both of us had multiple shows. I know in some weeks I had 3 shows that I did in a single week.
Yes,
and
sir.
That does not include having done the show for June and July last summer, which preceded our 2-month hiatus. And then when we came back in full force, and we have not missed a single week for 24 straight weeks. And so Russ and I was going to go to Belgium this week. I decided not to. And Russ and I we kind of talked about, should we take a week off as just kind of a break? Something felt like we needed to take a break, but at the same time, we don't want to let you down, dear listener. So this week we gave ourselves some time off from show prep, and we're basically doing this show unscripted. So
Yes,
if we were going to do an unscripted live show, the extent to which we have done show prep is just collecting the topics for the week. And that's it. We haven't talked about what we're going to talk about. We haven't talked about how we're going to frame it. We have not done any of that kind of show prep, which is really the deep stuff. So you're hearing this as if it were in a live setting, and we're almost getting this in a Q&A style. And so you're going to hear our live reactions, and I think it's going to be fun. Russ and I are going to have more of a conversation. We're going to burn it down. Another thing, Russ, is that we've hit 2 milestones and we didn't burn it down. We had a show 25 milestone and a show 30 milestone. We said we were going to burn it down on both of those. We never did. So we owe ourselves at least 1, if not 2, burning downs of the show. So we're going to kind of hang out this week. We're going to burn it down a little bit. We're going to keep it casual. It's going to be more conversational. We're going to talk about and it's also serendipitous because we've had so much winning this week. We're not triggered. We're in a good mood. So we're going to keep it light. We're going to keep it casual. We're going to keep it conversational. And it's going to be a good show. It's going to be a little bit different. We're not going to follow the traditional format of segment. We don't have a GBS grab X special picked out. We had audio that we wanted to play for the breaks, and we still might if we take a break. So it's going to be freestyle, and it's going to be kind of a free flowing format. So I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be a good show. What say you, Russ? Do you have anything to add to that before we move into it?
Yeah, I'm chomping at the bit. I can't wait. And, I have to echo everything Luke just said. It was really hard to, first of all, I worked ruthlessly this week, absolutely ruthlessly. No botched ad this week. My apologies for that. I simply couldn't do it. It was a function of time. I couldn't do it. Luke worked hard on the website, and we just need to have some fun. And I couldn't agree more, man. We deserve to burn it down. And burn it down we shall.
Yeah, I think it's a well-deserved sort of a sort of show. And don't worry, dear listener. Next week we will return to regularly scheduled programming. And so don't think that this is a permanent thing. This is just us having fun for a week. Much deserved break from the normal format, which is rigorous. We put probably each 20 to 30 hours in each week of the just to do one show requires about 20 to 30 hours each of both Russ and my time and energy. So it's a lot of work, but we love it. It's fun. We love doing it. We're going to continue to do it. We're not going anywhere. We're just taking a little bit of a break this week. Next week, unless, I don't know, maybe this format works out so well and people love it so much. They're like, just keep doing it that way. In which case I would be more than happy to, because this is the least amount of work I've done for a show in 24 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Actually, I think episode 10, I didn't prep anything at all. I think I even had like trance playing in my headphones the entire show too.
I remember that. Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, but well, let's jump into it, man. I think this is going to be, I'm excited. I'm really, really excited about this show. There is one black pilling topic that we should probably get out of the way here at the very beginning. What do you think, Russ?
Sure, let's do it.
Yeah. So there's a new Hourde going that now this is black pilling, but in the context of it actually being white pilling because of the way Trump handled it. But there's a new Hourde forming down in is it Guatemala that it's forming?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they are estimating the numbers to be more than 20,000. And I saw this article where the author was like, "Oh, but the WhatsApp group only has like 200 people." Oh, okay. Yeah. So we've got a 19,800 migrant disparity going on here between what's expected and the WhatsApp group, which is, I have to say, Russ, very, very hard hitting journalism efforts there on their part,
Ain't it? I know.
So, Russ, you mentioned that the Hourde could be as large as 25,000 or higher. I've heard 20,000 or higher. And, this is just the same thing. They're going to make their way up. Somebody's sending them a bunch of money. Someone's going to send them some nice coach buses. I hear, there's probably going to be some rock bands doing some benefit concerts along the way and touring with them. I don't know. I'm just making that up, but it wouldn't surprise me if that were the case. I mean, I think you just started to believe me when I said that, Russ. That's why I had to clarify.
I did. As a matter of fact, I did. That made perfect sense that would happen. Yes.
Yeah. Kiss is lending them their tour bus so they can get up, make their way up north. And, so in response, and that's the black pilling part, but what else is new? But the white pilling part is that Trump has now revoked all funding for Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what this reminds me of, Russ?
What's that?
Is like, you remember back in the Corps when you would make a mistake and they wouldn't just punish you, or they wouldn't punish you. Well, as a way of punishing you, they would sit you, like they would make you stand at attention while all of your buddies did push-ups in front of you.
Oh,
yeah. This is like the same sort of thing. It's like Guatemala is like all these people are forming up in Guatemala and heading north. And so Trump pulls funding from Honduras and El Salvador.
Good analogy, man. So true. So true.
So, I mean, well done. He should have done it. He should have done it the second Hourde, but at least he's doing it now. And, I don't want to come off as this like that the HSP boys are just this, yet another anti-immigration show. That's not what this is about. This is about the rule of law, and this is about people following the rule of law. That's all this is about, to me anyways. I don't know about you, Russ.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I don't want these people here, but it really is about the rule of law. I listened to Rush a couple of times this week, and this was a point that he drove home that I think is an excellent point. Once you excuse the disobedience of the rule of law, I mean, like Rush said, it's Katie bar the door. It begins with one law, and then it becomes something else and something else. That's how we get all these sanctuary cities, by the fact that we have ignored the rule of law regarding immigration for 50 years now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
And it's a salient point. He's correct about this.
Yeah, this is what, sort of piggybacking on that, you can actually apply this to a much wider array of ways in which to interpret the political landscape. This is why in some ways the cucky right, the blob right, is even worse than the left themselves, because the cuck right they are the Katie bar.
Yeah.
Prying open the door, and then once they get in, it's all the lefts go, oh, thanks for letting us in, bro. And then they just come rushing through. But it's
exactly right.
It's the right's unwillingness to stand up for their principles and stand up for things that really matter. They are the Katie bar. They are the ones with their foot in the door, not allowing us to shut it on all of these bad ideas like socialism and communism. And this is why, you have to, just like AOC and the Justice League Democrats are trying to purge the cucks out of the left, we need to do the same thing with the right. We need to purge the cucks out of the right so we can just slam the door shut.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. And that was just so smart, so well said. And that's exactly what's up. And other white pilling news about this is that Mexico is beginning to not like this immigration stuff so much. They're very icy toward the migrants that are heading up through their country right now. Remember, the first couple of hordes that came up, they were there giving them food and water and all this stuff. Yeah, well, the Mexicans aren't necessarily feeling that so much anymore. Donald Trump is holding funding over their head in abject threat without making the threat. And right what we're talking about is reformation of the trade deal with Mexico, taxing remittances by a lot, 25%. Trump can do that anytime he wants, right? And Mexico understands that if he does this, they are effed. And so they are making all of these gestures toward the United States. AMLO himself, the president in Mexico, is like, okay, yeah, the United States is right about this. Yeah, we're not doing our part to stop all this from happening. We need to reform this right now. And I mean, I have Trump's tweet. I'm not going to read it. I would have to find it and pull it up. And again, we didn't really show prep this week. But Trump woke up Thursday morning, jumped on Twitter. He was very angry about Mexico's doing nothing to help us. You know what I mean? Absolutely nothing. I'm tired of the talk. I'm tired of this BS. Step up right now and stop this, or you're going to have some consequences, right? Well, they're responding. I think that everybody realizes how serious this is now, that the president is serious. And, the real white pill about this is that now Russia has been proven false. Man, the president is unleashed. And I expect this to increase in pace bigly, dear listener, bigly. We're going to be seeing more and more and more of the president just running roughshod over the left and committing his agenda. We've already seen it this week. There's so much happening, right? And the left is, man, Luke, I would say the left is kind of on the ropes right now, every which way, man.
Oh, totally. Totally, dude.
Yeah.
Man, the way you described that about Trump, like popping out of bed in the morning and rushing to, and just being angry. It's like, I can just see him like sitting somewhere in the White House and like someone's, he's eating breakfast or maybe there's like a breakfast buffet for like the president and the staffers and everybody each morning, or something like this. And, he's just like sitting there munching on a croissant, just like tweeting away like, just threatened to pull funding from Mexico. Hey man, grab me a croissant when you're over there,
Just so, man. Just so. Although, I mean, to be fair, I think he probably has a Big Mac in the morning or maybe an Egg McMuffin or something like that.
Oh, yeah, dude. Totally.
That's kind of how he rolls.
Speaking of which, man, I got some chicken nuggets waiting for me in the refrigerator.
Oh, excellent. Excellent, man. Oh, I got a cheeseburger. Oh, I forgot, man. I got a cheeseburger in the fridge, man. That's so white pilling. Oh, as soon as we get off this show, I'm going to go finish that cheeseburger. It's going to be so good. Yeah.
So you save where is it from? Where's the burger from?
McDonald's, man. The small McDonald's cheeseburger. Yeah.
The double cheeseburger?
No, just the small cheeseburger. I got a Big Mac, fries, and a cheeseburger, and I got full. So
dude, you need to take the double cheeseburger pill.
Yeah, I know, man.
Double cheeseburger and hot and spicy's. That's where it's at, dude. All
right. I mean, I'll try it next time. Yeah,
we don't have that here, so I gotta compromise, but.
Yeah. Well, and you got to live vicariously through me, and you know what? I'll hook you up, man. I'll take care of it, and I'll report back how it is, man. So,
but I'm glad I'm not the. Excuse me, dear listener. I was a little under the weather this week. So, and I have been the last few weeks. I've noticed in the audio, like I'm clearing my throat a lot, And it's just crazy allergy season here in Germany, and I've finally got sick this week a little bit, so I'm recovering. So I apologies if any of this comes through on the audio, but yeah, Russ, I'm glad that I'm not the only one who saves leftover McDonald's in the fridge.
Yeah.
I have legit woken up in the morning before and like totally didn't even remember going to McDonald's. I mean, this is like back when I was in college, and I just open up the fridge and I just like see like 2 or 3 double cheeseburgers stacked up in there. And I'm just like, yes.
Hell yes.
Don't need to leave for lunch now. I mean, usually it's lunchtime anyway when I'm waking up if I went out the night before.
Yeah, right. Yeah, man. The last few times I've gone to McDonald's, I mean, not this time. I honestly thought I would eat a Big Mac cheeseburger and fries, but like what I have been doing when I go to McDonald's recently is I stockpile, right? I get 2 Big Macs and 2 cheeseburgers and an order of fries.
It's your prepper coming out. It's like indeed. every honest prepper has a few non-perished. Is that, what does I say? Non-perished or unperished? I don't know, but
non-perishable. Yeah.
No, not non-perishable, but something something which hasn't yet perished or expired.
Yeah.
Every honest prepper has to have a few double cheeseburgers that are no more than 2 or 3 days old, stacked away in the fridge just in case something goes down, dude, because I don't want to live in a world in which I don't have a double cheeseburger when I need one or want one.
Damn straight, man. Yes, sir. A few knives, a few guns, a few Big Macs, a few double cheeseburgers, yeah.
God, dude, that's so much America. So much American going on right now in this conversation.
Isn't it though, man? Yeah. Oh, God. Man, what a week. I'm just sitting here laughing, and dude, I'm having so much fun. I mean, I'm fixing to do another shot, Luke. You heard me? I'm fixing to do another one, man. You don't have to, man. But I'm going.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to pace myself. I'm in it for the long haul.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, that's a good point, but yeah, it's already poured. So here we go.
And I mean, we should also. I mean, I'll pour myself another drink, but I'm not going to do another shot.
Okay, yeah, I don't recommend it. Yeah.
I mean, speaking of burgers, we should jump to the Mueller Report.
Oh, man, this is nothing but white pilling, dear listener, because of this, all right? Like, Luke and my Nothing Burger segment last week apparently made the rounds, man, and we didn't get any credit for it. We don't need any credit for it. It's all good. Of course
not. We never get credit for it.
Yeah, we never do. But everybody was kind of quoting the HSP boys this week. Daily Caller did. Numerous others did.
Well, they didn't quote us, but they stole our memes.
Yeah, they stole our memes. Yeah. And that's cool. Daily Caller, no problem. You're more than welcome. Yeah.
We do not submit our memes to intellectual copyright.
For sure.
Domain.
Yeah. For sure.
Our memes are fair use memes.
Yeah. But like, man, it was nothing but white pilling watching everybody talk about Rachel Maddow and the Nothing Burger this week over and over and over again, just saying, all right, who said it first? All right. Let me preen a little bit here, man. Who said it first? You know what I mean? Who did the bit? Right here in the saddle. That's who did that.
Yeah, I saw something on Twitter that the Daily Caller put out, and it was a picture. And the thing is, the reason, I mean, okay, like, obviously Nothing Burger was around a long time before we brought it up last week.
For sure.
Everybody has been bringing it up in the context of Rachel Maddow,
right? Like
our bit, specifically Rachel Maddow and the Nothing Burger.
Yes.
It's specifically the relationship between the two. That's why we're kind of like, all right, I don't want to take credit for a meme when credit isn't due.
Right.
But
yeah. And
I mean, Russ and we do have our meme investigatory skills are well honed. Yeah, I'll put it that way.
Certainly. And but like also not just Rachel Maddow, man, Van Jones. We brought up Van Jones again last week, and now everybody's talking about Van Jones also, right? Rachel Maddow and the Nothing Burger and Van Jones. You know what I mean?
But do you think it's possible that it's not that we talked about it. It's the other way around. That's what needs to be talked about it. So we and everybody else talks about it.
Yes, I do think it's a circular loop here. I certainly do. You know what I mean? Not to preen too much. You know what I mean? For real, I do think.
Yeah. In other words, like we are just simply one among many people who talk about it, and just by virtue of our recording schedule, we get our stuff out on Sunday before everybody else does.
Yes, sir.
So I do think that there is a certain amount of, but of course everyone's going to be talking about it. But what's interesting is that people have takes that they are just total rips on our takes.
Yes.
And I think a lot of our takes are pretty unique, especially when you get into the more philosophical type breakdown of these things.
Yeah.
God, I heard one this week, man. I was just like, there is no way that they thought of that on there.
I know. Same here.
Okay, maybe I don't want to sound too arrogant or something, or too insulting towards somebody else, but I was just like, there is no way that they came up with that on their own. They totally ripped that from us.
Feels good, man. Feels good. For real. Feels really good, you know? And yeah. I do think that we're a part of a function of a closed loop here. You know what I mean? These ideas go around, you know, we do create them, if I may say, which I do. Yeah. Like, dear listener, I don't know about Russ, but I almost do not consume. Like, I will be the first. If I say something that somebody else is saying, and they said it before me, it is entirely coincidental, because I listen to almost nobody. I actually, Russ, I downloaded on the oh gosh, Whoopie-Taw, WTAW. Oh yeah,
1620. I listened to Rush through that. Oh man, that reminds me, I need to cancel my TuneIn subscription before the 7th.
Oh, dang.
Because that's how I started listening to Rush. But yeah, man, I've been wanting to listen to Rush lately, because I think he is just the gold standard in terms of just verbal communication.
Yeah,
he runs such a tight ship, and he is like, so I've been trying to look to him a little bit for tips on, like, how does he lead into sourcing things on the show? Like, how does he introduce a source? How much does he read from it? And what's the ratio of, so basically just mechanical how-tos of how to do a good show. Mm-hmm. And so I've been wanting to listen to him a lot, but other than that, like, I honestly I don't watch the news. I don't get anything from anybody, unless it's very, very strictly philosophical. But that doesn't really apply to our show. I mean, I'm talking like very deep epistemology and things like this, which that helps me think about things that are on the show, but it's not directly a part of the show. So like the stuff you hear on HSP is fresh. Russ and I come up with this stuff on our own entirely week over week. And if we don't, we straight up say like, yeah, I got this from this person. And I have to say, Russ, I think that rarely happens.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I do cover a lot, much more, consume much more media than yourself. You know, I watch the big three on Fox every night. That's not true. I only watched a couple of Fox shows this week. I watch Lou Dobbs. I listen to Rush as I can. I love Dan Bongino, man, and as much as I can, I listen to Dan Bongino. And I am trying to catch up with Bongino this week, and man, I feel really good because I wasn't able to listen to Bongino last week and really haven't been able to so far, but like Bongino articulated a lot of our ideas and we came up with them independently of Bongino, and I feel really good about that, man. And listen, anytime I need to cite Bongino, because he is the master on Spygate, the absolute master, right? I mean, he's a cop, dear listener. He understands this whole thing more than anybody else except for John Solomon himself, right? So I'm glad to credit Bongino when credit is due, but like I just felt really good about number 32, man. We nailed this stuff down and everybody seems to agree with us, and it feels good, man. It feels good, you know?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe our ideas are percolating through the idea sphere. Hopefully they are, because we are in this because we would like to do this full time one day because we love doing it, but we are really in this because we want to change the narrative. We want to impact the culture in such a way that the politicians and those who influence the politicians are impacting our political spectrum in such a way that the opposition is forced to admit that they do not stand for freedom and liberty. Indeed, and have to explicate why.
Indeed. Yeah, that's it. When Luke and I,
if I had to say,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, if I had to say, come up with a mission statement for HSP, that's what it would be to impact our political scene in such a way that these people have to say, no, I do not stand for liberty. And really, I hate saying that, because like we say, oh, I stand for freedom. Oh, I stand for liberty. I stand for individual rights. We do. But all of that is a euphemism for capitalism.
Yeah.
Just get it out there. You are a capitalist.
Yeah.
Just say it.
Yeah.
You stand for socialism. Cool. I stand for capitalism.
Yeah.
And capitalism is a system of governance in which individual rights are protected and upheld. There's a separation of government and economy, and we are free and we are a liberated people from each other. To say we are liberated, that implicitly means liberated one from another.
Absolutely.
And that's what we stand for here at HSP, and that's the narrative that we are trying to push.
Yes.
Which is not really narrative. It's like what human nature requires, really.
Yeah. When Luke and I first started doing this show, dear listener, way back in the day, right? It was actually before we started blasting in June and July. We did some trial balloons, and they went well. They did, but we took some time off, rebranded, rethought it, blasted it out again last June. And Luke,
or last October, I think.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Actually, I'm talking about that other show that we did 6 episodes of.
Oh,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to say the name of it.
That show was so terrible.
Yeah, it was. We weren't there yet, man. We hadn't cussed and discussed and tried and failed. Well, we did fail. Yeah, it wasn't there. That's just the bottom line, So,
I mean, but you got to start somewhere,
Yeah. And well, anyway, when we racked back up and we started getting back in the saddle, we started becoming and figuring out what it was that we are and what it is that we stand for and what we wanted to do. Well, Luke asked me the question one day, literally, he was like, what do you want to do? And now listen, I'm not so big-headed as to think that I can actually do this, but I said to Luke, I want to save the world. And Luke said, I want to save the world too. Now, we're not talking about literally saving the world. Don't get us wrong. We're not that big-headed that we think that we even could, but we understood what each other meant, and that was exactly what Luke just described right now.
It's not that we want to save the world. It's that we recognize what is going to save the world if it's going to get saved.
Yes.
It's that recognition that we both implicitly meant when we said that, which is just that there is a something which can save the world. Why don't we go push that?
Yes, sir. Just so. So. And here we are 33 episodes later, moving that ball further to the right. Oh, man. Yes. We're in this.
Yeah, we'll see where this leads, but
yeah.
You're along for the ride.
Yeah, you're here forever, man.
Yeah, hopefully we don't end up at Donner Lake, stranded in the middle of the winter.
Something, man. Yeah, I know it. I know. Or Arkansas-ed or something like that, hopefully. So, yeah. Just kidding. So like this Spygate thing, this is oh my God, dear listener, this is just so good. This is so good because people are finally starting to ask the right question. Rand Paul came out and tweeted on Thursday, what did Obama know and when did he know it? How long have the HSP boys been saying that? How long? And finally, the question is asked by a proper politician. Nothing but winning. #winning. Oh my God. Listen to the left. Listen as they try to pivot to healthcare. Nancy Pelosi comes up on Monday, has a press conference. It's like, okay, yeah, we've never been about Russia. We're really about healthcare. We've always been about healthcare. And you in the media, I would appreciate it if you reported about the fact that we've always been about healthcare. Yeah, nope. That's an effing lie. That's an absolute lie. You've been about nothing but Russia, Russia, Russia for 2 years now, and your entire narrative has collapsed. Rachel Maddow has collapsed. Everything has collapsed. And we're not going to let you pivot to healthcare. No. We're going to rub your face in this for the next 2 years at a bare minimum, but probably the next 6 conservatively. You know what I mean? We're not letting you get away with this. You're not changing the conversation. HSP boys are going to keep you right here on topic about where you were wrong and where we were right this entire time. Nope. Hard pass. We're not doing it. And at some point in time, yes, we will need to pivot the topic. We always do pivot the topic, if I may say, Luke. I mean, I truly believe that we are shaping somewhat of a bit of the narrative right now. I do, right? Nonetheless, as we shape this new narrative, we're not going to let you shape it, leftists. No. Y'all were egregious. You were wrong. You lied for 2 straight years. Lied for political expediency. We're not letting you get away with it. Not at all. No, we ain't talking about healthcare. No. Let's talk about Obama. Let's talk about what Obama knew and when did he know it. Let's talk about that. That's what we're talking about this week.
Yeah, I mean, if the right is going to really, really come after them, what they need to do, like Lindsey Graham, for example.
Oh, yes.
And we'll get to this here in a moment.
Yes.
But they, in order to push to the right, in order to, let me say this, and I don't mean this in the physical sense. I mean this in the political sense. Now is the time to aggress.
Yes.
Now is the time.
Yes.
Now is the time when you go on the offense. The right has been patient. They have been standing there patiently waiting. Trump has been standing there patiently waiting. Remember, he could have shut this down.
Yeah.
He could have shut this down long ago.
Yeah.
It is by his permission he has allowed this to continue this whole time.
That's correct, sir.
And they have paid their dues, right? They have met them in the middle. Now is the time to push.
Yes.
And aggress. And do you want to get into what Lindsey Graham said?
I do, but I want to make one quick point real fast, right? And I'll make it very quickly. Okay. Luke and I reported last week about Rod Rosenstein was still held at the DOJ for a little bit longer. We don't know exactly when he's going to leave, right? Well, I get it now. The president asked Bill Barr to make a deal with Rod Rosenstein so that Rod Rosenstein has to sign the exoneration of Donald Trump right there. Rosenstein is the person who created Spygate, dear listener. He is the person who did it. And they held him on board long enough so that he had to admit publicly, officially, politically, that he was wrong. This is nothing but a God-tier move by the president. Oh my God! And
who was responsible for that? Was that Bill Barr?
Yeah,
or was that the president?
Yeah, it was Bill Barr. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But who was responsible for keeping him around this whole time?
Well, I would say that Bill Barr really is, right? You know, Rosenstein is the one who forced Jeff Sessions to recuse himself in Spygate in the first place. He was the one, right? Bill Barr came up and said, yeah, I'm not going to recuse myself, right? Now, keep in mind, where the narrative is going, Luke, is this. That I've got this graphic, man. Let me post it to you real fast. It's about how every single Democrat said, handpicked AG, handpicked AG, handpicked AG. This has been being covered up by Trump's handpicked AG. Okay, yeah. Guess what? The president does handpick the AG, and the Senate approves the AG. That's how this goes down. That's how checks and balances work, right? And that's how Bill Barr got into the AG. So don't you be coming at us saying that now we're trying to handpick the AG so as to clear the president of Spygate, Russia. No.
But what would be the counter argument if the leftists then said to you in response to that, if they said, well, the Senate's mostly controlled by Republicans, but of course they would approve him.
Well, I would have several arguments to that effect. Yes, of course, the Senate is still controlled by Republicans because Donald Trump went and campaigned on behalf of the Senate. Yes, it is. Yeah, elections have consequences. Point number 2. Point number 3 is this, okay? Despite the fact that it's controlled by Republicans, this is as absurd as saying that, Robert Mueller is a Republican, Rod Rosenstein is a Republican, No, they're not. They're Blob Party. And just so is the Senate, the Blob Party. That's who controls the Senate, is the Blob.
Yeah, we need to remind dear listener here and these idiots that would say these sorts of things that it was Rod Rosenstein, James Comey, and Bob Mueller who were all the way back in after 9/11.
Yeah.
The Iraqi war. Robert Mueller is the one that declared that there are WMDs in Iraq.
Yes.
That is Mueller.
Yes.
So these guys are swamp creatures through and through.
Yes.
All the way back to the Bush 43.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean to say like, oh well, they're Republicans. No, they're blob, and these people hate Trump.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes. Oh yes. They are absolute never Trumpers through and through. Just like Bill Kristol looking at you. Too many others to name, but like yeah, they're blob party. 100% agreed. You know.
So what's this? I haven't gotten this graphic yet.
Oh, my bad. Let me. Can you bring a bit for a second while I find it for you?
Is it like the? Have you ever seen that one image of? They take like every corporation, or they take everybody that's in the Bilderberg group, and then like map it to every corporation, and it's just lines like everywhere.
Yeah,
going every direction.
Yeah, it's something like that. But it is. It's actually. Where did I see it post? I can't remember where I saw it posted. I'll be frank, but I copied it and put it in the show prep. And so it's because of the fact that I've not seen the show prep all week. Luke, I can't find it right now.
Oh, it's all good, dude. Don't worry about it.
I'll find it.
Yeah, so it's all good. We can move on.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, but like, man, you knocked it out of the park right then and there. I mean, Matt Taibbi came out with a piece in the Rolling Stone last weekend, last Saturday. As soon as Luke and I hit the black stop button, this piece comes out on Rolling Stone where he just absolutely called out the media on this Russia scandal and like was literally like, okay, just stop it. Okay, you've sacrificed everything. And he's the leftist. Don't get us wrong about this. He is a leftist. He is not right wing. He writes for Rolling Stone. Okay, stop it now. Everybody shut up. Okay, you have stopped conversation from going forward in every regard, in sacrifice, in bending the knee to this Russia collusion hoax. Shut up now, right? This is worse than the WMD situation. And man, Luke, you nailed it right then and there. And so did Matt Taibbi, right? And so to be fair, has Glenn Greenwald come out this week saying, yeah, you know what? This is the biggest, another leftist. This is the biggest disgrace we've ever seen in the media whatsoever. But it's not just the media. Luke hit it right then and there. This is the blob. They've always been doing this. Always. Just like the Justice League Democrats, the blob has always been working this way. And Luke nailed it, man. WMD, Russia. Hello.
Yeah.
Let's talk and
yeah,
hang
and
out.
you know this is the blob because you don't see the Justice League Democrats or the socialists, which they're the same people. You don't see them obsessed about Russia like you do Nancy Pelosi and the mainstream media.
Yeah. Oh, dang it, man. All right. Well, I'm going to find this graphic, man. I've got it somewhere.
It's all good, dude. Yeah. It's all good. Don't worry about it.
Right, I'll let it go. So.
Yeah. But in whatever the case, you just know this, dear listener. It was such a good week. We had such a white pilling week with the Mueller report, the meltdown of the media, Rachel Maddow crying. It's just bask in it, bask in the winning.
Enjoy.
And we have been saying this.
Shot, man.
Yeah, we have been saying this for months. We have been telling you, do not fall for this. If a year and a half has gone by and they still haven't found anything, it's because there's nothing to be found.
Yep.
Just full stop. And the story is just absurd on its face. We always knew that Trump didn't wake up one day. We talked about this on a previous episode, that Trump didn't wake up one day pondering, how am I going to get a leg up on Hillary? Let me think about this. Yeah, let me call up Putin. Maybe I can collude with him, See if he can hook me up with some of them Russian hacker farms.
Yeah, man.
Post some spicy memes onto Facebook.
Yeah.
And control the narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the story is just so absurd on its face. We've been saying this for months. We said it from day one. Don't even for one moment entertain this as a possibility, because it's not. It's just totally it's just outrageous. And you're never in law and in science, you are never called upon to prove a negative. So they're going to make the accusation, they make the assertion. Well, we will stand on the sidelines and wait for them to try to score. Yeah. And they never could. They never did.
Yeah. 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 Not to mention, as Luke and I have always said in these hallowed halls of HSP, always, right? Not only that, but what the collusion was right here was they were colluding with Russia. Remember Uranium One, okay? Hillary colluding with Russia, getting Bill paid 2 times for $500,000 per to go speak in Russia, right? She ends up clearing $145 million for the Clinton Foundation in order to sell what little uranium we have here in these lower 48 to the Russians, okay? That is collusion. Who took that uranium over there as proof of concept to Russia? That would be Bob Mueller. He took the uranium over there the first time to show them how good our uranium was, right? The point is this. I don't want to get into the weeds about it. The left always accuses you of what they're doing. And now it is all becoming so clear. Hashtag winning.
Yeah. And not only that, but how is trying to aid Mexico and ushering illegal immigrants across the border and then openly and flagrantly advocating for their right to vote, how is that not colluding with Mexico?
Absolutely, sir.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Nancy Pelosi was on the phone with AMLO, be like, look, we need more immigrants. I need you to, pass some more socialist reform bills, impoverish your people a little bit, make it a little bit more miserable. We need a slight uptick in illegal immigrants before we can get Beto elected senator.
Indeed, sir. I wouldn't just not be surprised. I actually would suspect that business like that is going down. I'll put it that way. I suspect business like that does transpire.
Yeah. Take your people down a peg. Send them over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, dude. Well, do you want to move on to GND?
Yeah, man. Yeah, why not, man? Let's talk about that. Yet another white pill. Oh my God, another white pill, man. You want to give us the gestalt about it?
Yeah, sure. So, as you probably remember, Mitch McConnell was, and dude, you know who Mitch McConnell? I was trying to figure out who Mitch McConnell reminds me of, Russ.
Oh yeah,
you know who he reminds me of?
Who's that?
Do you remember in the first X-Men movie when the politician guy got turned into like the water,
right,
the water thing, and like in that scene he just became water.
Yeah,
it's like right before he just pops and just spills out everywhere. Like,
yeah,
that's what Mitch McConnell. I was like, that's what it is. That's what he reminds me of.
Indeed.
I can't remember that character's name in the movie.
Yeah,
but he was, ironically, he was also a politician.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Mitch McConnell was like, "Oh, we're gonna," which is so absurd, He's just, "Oh, we're gonna force a vote on this."
Yeah,
we'll see how much you like the Green New Deal then. And Russ and I at the time called him out on this, saying that, like, why would you force a vote on this? This is, I think the analogy we used back then was the Khmer Rouge. It's like if you had the Khmer Rouge, like, oh hey, we need to take everybody that's wearing glasses and put them on trial for crimes such as owning property and accumulating wealth and torture them into pleading guilty, and then we will summarily execute them all. That's our policy. And then Mitch McConnell's just like, oh, well, we'll just put it up to a vote.
Right.
Like, no. You just say no. That's such a bad idea.
Yeah.
It's such an evil idea. Just get them the hell out of there. We don't want that going anywhere near. We don't want that going anywhere near anybody who has voting power. Just a hard no.
Yeah.
And Green New Deal should have just gotten a hard no. That should have been laughed out and told her to get lost. Go kick rocks with your Green New Deal. I mean, that's what you're going to be doing if it passes anyway.
True.
So it's the same outcome at the end of the day. So anyways, they voted on it. It voted, the results were 57-0. The Green New Deal lost. I think, was it all of the Democrats voted or they voted present? They didn't vote yes or no. They just
damn one. Every single
present.
Damn one. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, hearkening back to another show, Russ, and that's like, man, I wish I could do that at work.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Present. It's like my boss sends me an email like, hey man, what do you think about this? I'm just going to respond present. That's it.
Indeed, yeah, and we knew it was going to happen. Chuck Schumer paved the way for this to happen. He gave all the Democrats permission to only vote present, right? So we knew it was going to happen. I didn't think it would be so resounding. I thought at least somebody would have the stones to come out in support of it, since a lot of people are campaigning on it for president on the left. You know what I mean? I mean, lots of them in the Senate. But yeah, not a single one. Nobody came out in support of it. And this is abject cuckery of their very agenda, dude. And it is glorious to behold. Oh, man. AOC
dude,
mad, too. Go ahead.
I was about to ask, did you see AOC's meltdown?
Oh, yes. I wish I had it pulled up, man, but I don't. I don't have it pulled up, but I saw it. She's
so ridiculous, man.
Mm-hmm.
In her meltdown, so dear listener, if you're wondering what we're talking about, what was it, Russ? I mean, I just saw the video clip, the audio. It was some sort of testimony, not testimony, but she was, I don't know, up there bitching and complaining in some sort of congressional hearing about something. I don't know what the context was, but
yeah, I don't either. Who cares? But the only thing that happened in that testimony was AOC,
Yeah, but I mean, I have to hand it to her. It was a good performance, perhaps Oscar worthy.
Yeah,
I'm sure her handlers were proud.
Yeah.
In fact, they might have even given her a bonus, like a performance bonus.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, man. She should be nominated for a BET award like Jussie Smollett has been. She should be. Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah. So like in her little tirade, she sets up this and so, okay. So dear listeners, some sort of congressional hearing. We don't know what it was. It doesn't really matter. But AOC, she's all butthurt and pissed off about this, that it lost 57-0, and she's going on and there are people dying. I wanted to tweet at her and be like, I don't think, because one of the things that she mentioned was that people in Flint, Michigan, like the lead levels are so high that their children are being brain damaged. It's like, I don't think that the people of Flint, Michigan appreciate you accusing them all of being brain damaged.
Right.
I'm just going to go out on a limb and just say that. But
right. And her specific quote, I'm sorry to laugh, but she said, their blood is ascending. Their blood is ascending. Well, we assume that what she meant is that the lead levels in their blood is ascending. We don't know. We can neither confirm nor deny. We don't know, what the hell that meant,
Yeah, this is classic. This is a classic sign of somebody who is passionate but doesn't know.
Yeah.
Fact divorced from value. Again,
yes.
She has a certain certain evaluation of the world around her and doesn't really know the facts to back it up. This is when people start having gaffes. They start littering their language with knows and ums and likes and this and that. And they start having gaffes and saying oddly structured sentences. Then this is when people are going beyond their comfort zone in terms of what they really know. So she's just trying to be real passionate, but she doesn't really know. And this is when these gaffes, there were many gaffes that she had actually.
Yes, indeed.
When I was listening to it, just mispronounced words, misused words, incomplete sentences. And when that happens, then that's just somebody who they're outside their comfort zone in terms of their base of facts.
Yeah.
And, if you'll notice, Russ, at the beginning, she sets up a pretext that this is all about climate change.
Yeah.
But then she this is so telling that afterwards she then shifts gears and launches into an attack on fossil fuel companies.
Of course.
So
yeah.
the climate change pretext is ostensible at best. It's ostensibly about climate change because especially when she starts talking about Flint, Michigan, and their blood is ascending, as opposed. I mean, and I actually would contest that as a fact because that would imply that residents of Flint, Michigan sleep upright. And I don't know that that's true. I don't know. Maybe they're like one of these secluded cultures that scientists have discovered. Like I was watching this documentary a few months ago, Russ, about this family in Turkey who walk on all fours. So I don't know. Maybe this is like there's some sort of pocket culture. Yeah, they've figured out a way to sleep upright, like horses or something. I don't know.
Yeah, why not?
Maybe they grew up around horses and they just saw the way that horses sleep upright, and they're like, maybe that's just how it works. I don't know.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So she could be right there. Maybe their blood is always ascending. But but when she goes on about this, what she's really talking about is fracking, because that was the big controversy in Flint, was like, you can light the water on fire. That has nothing to do with fracking. Okay. Like my aunt had a cabin in Colorado, and when we would go there to go skiing, like on spring break when I was a little kid, there was so much gas in the water, and there wasn't even oil industry around. It was just natural gas that was in the water. You had to let if you wanted to drink the tap water, you had to put it in a big empty milk jug, gallon, and there were many of them because we had to do this all the time. And then you'd have to let it sit for a day and let all the gas get out of it, and then you could drink it, because otherwise it tasted and smelled awful.
Yeah.
So there are places where, yes, you can set the water on fire by virtue of the fact that the water is just has natural gas in it. It has nothing to do with fracking. And so what she's really getting at when she talks about Flint, Michigan is fracking. Well, now you're not talking about climate change anymore. You just don't like fracking technology.
Right.
So this whole Flint, Michigan is not about climate change, which ostensibly the Green New Deal is. So what is it? Do you not like fracking technology, or is this about climate change? What are you really complaining about here?
Right.
At the end of the day, what they're really complaining about is the fact that what they're really against here, Russ, is modern civilization.
Yeah.
To them, climate change equals modern civilization. Like you can't have one without the other.
Yeah.
And precisely because fossil fuels are antecedent to modern civilization. I actually tweeted this out a couple of days ago, and I just pulled my Twitter up because I was like, what was my reasoning here? So I'm kind of following along with my Twitter. So if you want this line of reasoning, I put it out over the course of 3 tweets on the 28th, which was 2 days ago. So yeah, because okay, so actually I'm following my Twitter reasoning here. So they're socialists. They hate fossil fuel companies. And you can hear this hatred in AOC's voice. She has utter contempt for them. Like, in a way that's not, you don't just hate an industry. You think that they are fundamentally evil.
Yeah.
And fossil fuel companies, they at once fuel modern civilization in this sense, right? They at once fuel modern civilization and the hatred of the left at the same time and for the same reasons. And it's, again, because to them, climate change equals modern civilization, because fossil fuels are antecedent to modern civilization. We would not have civilization as it exists today without fossil fuels, full stop. You can't do it. Everything plastic, that's an oil-based product. If you want to get rid of oil and shut down and keep it in the ground, as they say, every time you think about how radical are these people, to think about the keep it in the ground movement. That's that's a very, very powerful part of the environmentalists, right?
Yeah.
If you keep it in the ground, you can kiss goodbye to anything in your home that is plastic.
Yep.
So this is the left stance towards fossil fuels, because which necessarily makes it their stance toward modern civilization as we know it today. So what they're against here is they're against money. They are about pro-poverty, and they are against human flourishing. There's just no other way to put it. They it's almost like an original sin understanding of human flourishing or of modern civilization. It's like you are in the wrong because you are you, in a sense.
Yep.
So to them, like, our original sin is existing and impacting. Our original sin is impact. That's what it is.
Yeah. And to this end, a report dropped yesterday. It broke in the New York Post, but I'm going to read a Breitbart piece from the top. I got it right this time. Breitbart piece. I'm going to read it from the top. It goes thus. A report published in the Journal of Industrial Ecology claims that white people's eating habits are contributing more to climate change than their black and Latino. Report authors concluded.
I can't disagree, you know, when we're talking about refrigerating our leftover McDonald's. But hey, dude, isn't that a form of recycling though?
One would think. I
mean, I think that's like a form of conservation. Because, I mean, we're only talking $1 for a double cheeseburger. Yeah, right. Or they're probably like $1.39 now or something.
Yeah, they are. They're about like that. Yeah.
So, I mean, it wouldn't be that it's worth, you know, $1.39 to go get a warm, full, freshly made, non-half-eaten cheeseburger. That's totally worth $1.39. But, you know, here at Zero Gravity Media, HSP, we are true conservationists.
Absolutely.
We care about the environment. We understand that our white privilege is impacting disproportionately because of the quantity of cheeseburgers and Big Macs that we eat. And so we are trying to conserve here and recycle our cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't fault us for doing that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Absolutely. Potatoes, beef, apples, and milk are some of the worst offenders, the New York Post reported. You forgot almonds. That's pretty bad too, right? So stop eating, white people. Stop eating. You're changing the climate too much.
Eating is racist.
Yeah. And so the point is this, dear listener, what it is watch the narrative collapse. We're just talking about some signs of the narrative collapse here. We're not talking about the entire narrative collapse, just little bits of it collapsing before our very eyes. It is glorious to behold, man. Hashtag winning.
Dude, I can't believe it, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. It's this so rationalistic. They have this like one fundamental idea, right? And then they just rationalize, just ad infinitum until they can spin some sort of narrative, because that's what it is. It's like, okay, white people have certain eating habits. Okay, let's rationalize that into somehow that white people's eating habits is less environmentally disproportionately impacts the environment relative to other races. Okay, now we can spin that into environmental racism because the impoverished people and people of color are disproportionately impacted by climate change. And since white people's eating habits disproportionately impact climate change, therefore white people's eating habits is racist. Like, that is like the level of rationalization that they are going through to try. I mean, when people talk about mental gymnastics, you probably heard or seen people talk online like, oh, I like the mental gymnastics you did there. Like, what they're really saying when they say mental gymnastics is just philosophical rationalism. That like, if you were to describe what mental gymnastics is in an academic term, that would be philosophical rationalism. Which is just, you're just rationalizing. It's like, okay, well then this, and then that, and then this, and then that, and then this. Okay, well then this. It's just this like string of logic that just has no place in reality at all. It's just, you know, seemingly logically connected abstracts. That's it.
Yeah.
But it absolutely does not exist at all.
Right.
You know?
Right. Right. Yeah, I love that example you gave to this effect. It was, 20 episodes back about the girl sitting at home waiting on her boyfriend to come home, right? And like, The mental hamster that you described, I haven't listened to that episode in so long I can't remember it.
I think I remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like imagine, and I mean I don't want to pick on females here because I know we love our women. We cherish women here. So okay,
but it was an example of reaching false conclusions one after the next. Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the deal, Russ. Is like I don't want to pick on men either. So, we are going to go with a non-binary individual.
Yeah.
Sitting on the couch who happens to be engaged in a, if you say sexual relationship, that would imply
asexual relationship, please, sir. Asexual.
Yes, an asexual relationship with themselves. No, that doesn't work. There has to be a second person involved. So maybe because if it's a sexual relationship, that would imply that one or both has male or female parts, which would imply gender difference. And I don't want to offend anybody here.
Yeah, well, let me see if I can help you out here. All right. Asexual does mean the ability to reproduce within your own means, like bacteria do, like viruses do. Right. Yeah. So like, but the term has been reappropriated by the left, people like Morrissey, who actually turned out to be hardcore right as far as immigration goes, right? About, I'm asexual. The meaning being that I don't have sex, right? Okay. So, but really what asexual means is the ability to reproduce without an other, right?
Well, that just means she's an incel.
Well, yeah, just so. Yeah, Zir is an incel. Yes. Nonetheless, Zir has friends, right? Zir is waiting for somebody to come home and bring the bacon to Zir, and Zir is not replying on text. How about that? Does that help?
Yes, help? I just hit me. I think the word that we're looking for is pansexual.
Well, I mean Lando Calrissian and Solo. Yes, pansexual. Yes.
All right, so we have a non-binary, gender fluid, asexual, pansexual individual sitting on the couch, waiting on another individual whom they may or may not have sexual or asexual or pansexual relations with. This person is also non-binary and gender fluid as well, and so. Well, I mean, since we're left with nothing else, we'll just have to say person A and person B, I guess, Russ.
Yeah. A, B. Yeah, that's good.
I mean, since pronouns have now been rendered effectively useless.
That's racist, man. That's sexist pronouns. Come on, man. Come on.
So we'll go with,
way beyond that.
We'll go with person A and person B. So person A is, sitting on the couch at home, and they're wondering where person B is, and person B is out there. They're having a good time. They're out. And if they're pansexual, they could be involved in pansexual relations with other individuals who are also non-binary and don't have a gender, or they might not be. And person A would be jealous if they were out there being pansexual, but maybe person B is picking up a cucumber or something. I don't know, at the grocery store.
Yeah.
And person A starts. No. Let me revise that a little bit. Okay, so person B is out with their pansexual friends, but maybe or maybe not having pansexual relations with them. We'll say that. And person A is just freaking out. Person B's phone dies. Okay, and then person A is texting. Where are you? What are you doing? You're not out having pansex, are you? With all your all the Z's and Z's out there. And
Lord have mercy.
And I was, ooh, man, it almost just slipped, Russ. See, this is how
I saw it.
This is my implicit bias. This is my implicit white privilege coming out that I can't control.
Yes,
I almost used a gendered pronoun.
Yes.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I had to stop.
You caught it, man. We don't need. I
checked my privilege. Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah. I mean, also, we should say, dear listener, maybe Russ, we should actually check if we need to check our privilege. So we need to have like an accuracy rating and a privilege checked rating
dang,
as well.
Man, Well, that's okay. All right, let's do it. I mean, that's a harsh scale, man. I mean, we're gonna have to be careful.
All right. Yeah, okay. I don't know. Maybe we'll think about that. But in whatever the case, I'll finish the story. So person B gets home. Well, person A is sitting at home. They're going, oh my God. Person B isn't messaging me back and I don't know what to do. Is person B cheating on me? Is person B lying to me? Oh my God. Last week I told person B that I wanted chicken and I made chicken when really I think person B wanted steak. And maybe that's what this is person B lashing out? Oh my gosh. And going on and on and on and on and on. And person B finally gets home and person A is like, where were you? What were you doing? Person B is like, I was out. My phone died. What's up?
Yeah.
And then person A is like, oh, okay. And what Russ was describing here is that what philosophical rationalism is a string of logically connected abstracts that don't have any anchoring point in reality. They don't tie to reality. They don't anchor in reality at any point in time. And so you can come up with this fantastic string of logically connected ideas, but that doesn't mean a whole lot if it's not anchored into reality. This is what the difference between a hypothesis and a theory is. A hypothesis is an asserted idea based upon some amount of observation and logic and has yet to be untested.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So actually with no real observation, it's just basically a hypothesis is just an untested logical string of abstracted ideas. And then a theory is a tested set of that has been tested, and they are asserting that is the anchoring point in reality. The test is. Yes. And then a theory holds until somebody comes along and disproves it. And then it's an unproven theory. So that's what philosophical rationalism is. It's just this. And this is what the left is doing here. They're just running through these like, this is what the purpose of intersectionality. When they use that word,
God,
this is what that word, it just is a floodgate for rationalism.
Indeed.
That's all that word is.
Indeed. Yeah.
And that's what, that's what this story is all about.
Yeah.
It's just rationalism. Oh, man. These people, dude.
I know. Hashtag winning. Oh man, I'm so tired of winning, Luke. I'm so tired of winning. You know what I mean? I'm so tired of seeing these hamster wheels collide and fall off, man. I'm just tired of it. I'm just so tired of it, man. Yeah, I could never have imagined this much winning, and it sucks so bad, man.
I mean, this is why, the hamster, the hamster can't run too fast because then the wheel just comes flying off,
Yes. Oh man. Well, I could use a break, man. I don't know where you're at. Do you want a break?
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, I'm going strong still, but let's do it.
Oh yeah. Stronger together, man. And I don't know how. Oh. Well, I'm not going to make that point. It was about the documentary Gasland, about like in Flint, Michigan, them lighting their water on fire, right? And anyways, doesn't matter. Josh Fox, you're a cuck, and we know it, and everybody knows it. But the HSP boys call you out for being a cuck, so there you go. He's the creator and director of Gasland. Go watch it, dear listener. It's compelling, but it's an entire documentary of philosophical rationalism. Just so you know. Man, what do we play? I've got Lindsey Graham here, man. I mean,
dude, I sent you audio. I'm gonna pull up the link. I'll send it to you again.
Okay.
It is, dude, this is gonna be so good, man. So this is audio. I'm sending it to you right now, Russ.
All right.
So this week, when the Green New Deal was up for consideration,
okay.
Thank you, Mitch McConnell, for that. When the Green New Deal was even being considered, we had a Senator Mike Lee. I saw somebody on this tweet. Somebody tweet about this, and they were like, "I would love to see Mike Lee, debate AOC." And I was just like, "That's a weird."
Oh, sorry about that. Sorry.
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah.
I was like, "That's a weird association." Well, Mike Lee, who is a senator from Utah, offered remarks on the Green New Deal when this was being considered for the Senate vote. And oh, dude, it had me doubled over. It's so good.
Right.
I showed it to Jessica too. And she, because she doesn't pay much attention to politics. So like a good litmus test for me, if something is like really funny outside the context of American politics, I'll show Jessica, and she was doubled over too. It's so funny. And so anyways, I think this is,
I don't know this. I don't know it, man.
Dude, have you've not seen this?
No, not at all. No.
Oh my God, man. I want to sit here and just listen to your reaction, dude.
Okay.
All right. You have to break and rush back to the computer so you can listen to this. It is so funny, man.
Okay. All right. Now, I've got to say, I'm a little bit pissed off at Mike Lee right now, man, because he voted against the emergency resolution, right? I did not expect that, but he did. And I'm a little pissed off about it, and I'm going to remember it. So, like, I don't trust Mike Lee so much, just so you know.
Yeah, well, you'll like this. You'll like this, Russ. I promise.
Okay. All right. Well, shall we do it?
Yeah, it's 13 minutes. Dear listener, we'll be back at you before you know it.
In American political discourse. And unfortunately, fear is unavoidable. When debating the substance of the resolution before this body today, that is climate change, socialism, and the Green New Deal. On entering this debate, I have a little fear in my heart as well. But, Mr. President, my fear at this moment may be just a little different than that of some of my colleagues. Unlike some of my colleagues, I'm not immediately afraid of what carbon emissions unaddressed might do to our environment in the near-term future, or our civilization, or our planet in the next few years. Unlike others, I'm not immediately afraid of what the Green New Deal would do to our economy and our government. After all, this isn't going to pass. Not today, not anytime soon, certainly. Rather, after reading the Green New Deal, I'm mostly afraid of not being able to get through this speech with a straight face. For Mr. President, I rise today to consider the Green New Deal with the seriousness it deserves. This is, of course, a picture of former President Ronald Reagan naturally firing a machine gun while riding on the back of a dinosaur. You'll notice a couple of important features here. First of all, the rocket launcher strapped to President Reagan's back, and then the stirring, unmistakable patriotism of the Velociraptor holding up a tattered American flag, a symbol of all it means to be an American. Now, critics might quibble with this depiction of the climactic battle of the Cold War, because while awesome, in real life there was no climactic battle. There was no battle with or without velociraptors. The Cold War, as we all know, was won without firing a shot. But that quibble actually serves our purposes here today, Mr. President, because this image has as much to do with overcoming communism in the 20th century as the Green New Deal has to do with overcoming climate change in the 21st. The aspirations of the proposal have been called radical. They've been called extreme. But mostly, they're ridiculous. There isn't a single serious idea here, not one. To illustrate, let me highlight two of the most prominent goals produced by the plan's authors. Goal number one, the Green New Deal calls essentially for the elimination of airplanes. Now, this might seem merely ambitious for politicians who represent the densely populated northeastern United States. But how is it supposed to work for our fellow citizens who don't live somewhere between Washington, D.C. and Boston? In a future without air travel, how are we supposed to get around the vast expanses of, say, Alaska during the winter? Well, I'll tell you how. Tauntauns, Mr. President. This is a beloved species of reptomammals, native to the ice planet of Hoth. Now, while perhaps not as efficient in some ways as airplanes or as snowmobiles, these hairy bipedal species of space lizards offer their own unique benefits. Not only are tauntauns carbon neutral, but according to a report a long time ago and issued far, far away, they may even be fully recyclable and usable for their warmth, especially on a cold night. What about Hawaii? Isolated 2,000 miles out into the Pacific Ocean. Under the Green New Deal's effective airplane prohibition, how are people there supposed to get to and from the mainland? And how are they supposed to maintain that significant portion of their economy that's based on tourism? At that distance, swimming would, of course, be out of the question, and jet skis are notorious gas guzzlers. No, all residents of Hawaii would be left with is this. This is a picture of Aquaman, a superhero from the undersea kingdom of Atlantis, and notably here, a founding member of the Super Friends. I draw your attention, Mr. President, to the 20-foot impressive seahorse he's riding. Under the Green New Deal, this is probably Hawaii's best bet. Now, I'm the first to admit that a massive fleet of giant, highly trained seahorses would be cool. It would be really, really awesome. But we have to consider a few things. We have no idea about scalability or domestic capacity in this sector. The last thing we want is to ban all airplanes and only then find out that China or Russia may have already established strategic hippocampus programs designed to cut the United States out of the global market. Mr. President, we must not allow and cannot tolerate a giant seahorse gap. Goal number 2. The Green New Deal anticipates the elimination of all cows. Talking points released by the sponsors of the resolution the day it was introduced cited the goal of, quote, fully getting rid of, and I'll paraphrase a little bit here, flatulating cows. Now, Mr. President, I share their concern. But honestly, I think you've got to remember that if they think the cows smell bad, just wait till they get a whiff of the seahorses. But back to the cattle. I've got a chart to illustrate this trend. As you can see, Mr. President, on the left, these little cows represent the bovine population of America today. On the right is the future population under the Green New Deal. We would go from about 94 million cows to 0 cows. No more milk, no more cheese, no more steak, no more hamburgers. Over the state work period last week, I visited some farms to find out for myself what Utah's own bovine community might think of the Green New Deal. Every cow I spoke to said the same thing. Boo. The authors of this proposal will protest that these goals are not actually part of the Green New Deal, but were merely included in supporting documents accidentally sent out by the office of the lead sponsor in the House of Representatives. But, Mr. President, this only makes my point. The supporters of the Green New Deal want Americans to trust them to reorganize our entire society, our entire economy, to restructure our very way of life, when they couldn't even figure out how to send out the right press release. The Green New Deal is not a serious policy document because it's not a policy document at all. It is, in fact, an aesthetic one. The resolution is not an agenda of solutions. It's a token of elite tribal identity, and endorsing it a public act of piety for the chic and woke. And on those embarrassing terms, it is already a resounding success. As Speaker Pelosi herself put it, quote, The green dream, or whatever they call it. Nobody knows what it is, but they're for it, right? Right. Critics will no doubt chastise me for not taking climate change seriously. But please, Mr. President, nothing could be further from the truth. No Utahn needs to hear pious lectures about the gravity of climate change from politicians from other states. For it was only in 2016, as viewers of the Sci-Fi Network will well remember, when climate change hit home in Utah, when our own state was struck not simply by a tornado, Mr. President, but by a tornado with sharks in it. These images are from the indispensable documentary film, Sharknado 4. They captured the precise moment when one of the tornado sharks crashed through the window of Utah's Governor Gary Herbert. A true Utah hero and a fine American, Governor Herbert, who, by the way, is an incredible athlete and an expert tennis player. Governor Herbert bravely fought the animal off with the tennis racket that he keeps by his desk, precisely for occasions such as this. So let's be really clear, Mr. President. Climate change is no joke, but the Green New Deal is a joke. It is the legislative equivalent of Austin Powers' Dr. Evil, demanding sharks with frickin' lasers on their heads. The Green New Deal is not the solution to climate change. It's not even part of the solution. In fact, it's part of the problem. The solution to climate change won't be found in political posturing or virtue signaling like this. It won't be found in the federal government at all. You know where the solution can be found, Mr. President? In churches, in wedding chapels, in maternity wards across the country and around the world. Dang. Mr. President, this is the real solution to climate change. Babies. Climate change is an engineering problem. Not social engineering, but the real kind. It's a challenge of creativity, ingenuity, and most of all, of technological innovation. And problems of human imagination are not solved by more laws. They're solved by more humans. More people mean bigger markets for more innovation. More babies will mean forward-looking adults, the sort we need to tackle long-term, large-scale problems. American babies in particular are likely going to be wealthier, better educated, and more conservation-minded than children raised in still industrializing countries. As economist Tyler Cowen recently wrote on this very point addressing this very topic, quote, "By having more children, you're making your nation more populous, thus boosting its capacity to solve climate change," close quote. Finally, Mr. President, children are a mark of the kind of personal, communal, and societal optimism that is the true prerequisite for meeting national and global challenges together. The courage needed to solve climate change is nothing compared with the courage needed to start a family. The true heroes of this story aren't politicians, and they aren't social media activists. They are moms and dads, and the little boys and girls that they are at this very moment putting down for naps or helping with their homework, building tree houses and teaching them how to tie their shoes. The planet does not need for us to think globally and act locally so much as it needs us to think family and act personally. The solution to climate change is not this unserious resolution that we're considering this week in the Senate, but rather the serious business of human flourishing. The solution to so many of our problems, at all times and in all places, is to fall in love, get married, and have some kids. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the floor.
All right, Mike Lee, I take it back, man. I take it back.
You like that, dude?
I take it all back. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for red pilling me about this. I didn't even know this happened, man. I had no idea. A busy week, and yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, he did cuck a little bit at the end, and the family, when he's talking about this is they're going to be more conservation minded. I mean, that's all cucking at the end.
Yeah.
And then, the solution being families. Well, not really. I mean, maybe it would help, but that's not the real solution. The real solution is just having freedom in the marketplace and letting people innovate and having strong property rights laws.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. It's a little bit of cuckery, a little bit. But man, the best part of that video was his aide putting the photos up.
Oh, dude, his aide who was putting those photos up, she was trying so hard not to laugh.
I know. You could tell, man. Oh my God. That simple greatness, man. Hashtag winning. Dude, there's so much winning. So much winning.
So what do we got next? Avenatti. Let's hit that.
Oh man, Avianti. Oh yes, Avianti. Yes, this is a great story. So what's going on, dear listener, is Avianti has been arrested in New York and California on charges of extortion of Nike, right? And he's also bankrupt, right? So he comes out and threatens Nike with disclosing all of this information, and he ends up going downtown, boy. He goes downtown. He goes downtown for it. And and like what's most interesting to me about this is you've got to keep in mind that I've seen it on Fox News this week once, okay? A montage of everybody singing Avianti's praises, right? You know what? I said you need to shut up, but yeah, bring it. You got so much. You're worthy of being a Democratic candidate for president. Yeah, shut down, boy. Shut down on $300,000 bail. That's what's up. Yet another win. Oh,
yeah, dude. And like afterward, he even came out on Twitter and was like, "Oh no, something really did happen. I'm gonna reveal it." Like he's like still trying to maintain frame. It's like, I know. Look, we say maintain frame here on HSP, but at a certain point, you just have to admit that your frame was the
wrong.
L. Yeah.
Take the L, man. Yeah, just take the L. That means the loss. It's millennial speak. It means take the loss. Take the L. Just take it. Take it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That guy is such a scumbag, dude. He's like Anthony Weiner caliber scumbag.
Yeah. And like literally, I would qualify that in terms of this, that he's not as big of a scumbag as Anthony Weiner because he's not a pedophile. Well, dear listener, except for the fact that he is. I'm going to take a zero hedge piece from the top. It goes thus. It dropped yesterday. Seagram heiress Claire Bronfman had a dramatic day in court Wednesday where the accused NXIVM sex cult financier fainted in response to being asked if she had recently secretly retained lawyer Micheal Avenatti. Oh, my God. So now Avenatti is also implicated in NXIVM. We've been talking about this for months, dear listener. Months and months.
What is NXIVM? Explain that.
It is a self-improvement group, right? It is founded by a dude named, what's that cuck's name? Keith Raniere. And his biggest sex slave in this cult was Allison Mack, who used to be on Smallville. You know her, and she's pretty hot, man. I give it to her. She's pretty hot, right? So like what it would be is that you get recruited into this cult, okay? And by the way, this cult, the way it worked is that they would go around giving self-improvement lectures all around the United States, right? Keith Raniere, Allison Mack, this is how I got great. But what they were doing was recruiting sex slaves, right? To the point that you had to get branded with a cauterizing iron below your hip, right next to your genitalia, with Keith Raniere's initials. Well, it's come out this week that it wasn't just Keith Raniere's initials, dear listener. No, it was Micheal Avenatti's initials as well. KRAV. And I swear to God, don't believe me. Go look for it yourself. And now, so Micheal Avenatti is all wrapped up in NXIVM. And what's interesting about NXIVM, when Luke and I came out in the early episodes in these hallowed halls, we started calling out pedophilia because that was one thing that Jeff Sessions did very well. He busted pedophiles, and he did them by the thousands, right? Well, as he was doing that, who ended up getting busted in this about last September or so was NXIVM, this self-improvement cult, right? Well, I mean, now they're finally litigating this trial. Claire Bronfman faints when asked if she retained Micheal Avenatti. You can't make this up, dude. You can't make this up. Yeah, but they have been implicated in pedophilia along the way, right? And this is something the HSP boys are steadfast hard about, right? Like, if you're a pedophile, you probably got to die, all right? And the left is trying to normalize pedophilia right before our very eyes. Yeah, not on the HSP boys' watch. This isn't going to happen. This isn't going to happen.
When you say that, what was the article saying that Micheal Avenatti's initials had to be branded as well? Because AV are not his initials. That's his initials are MA.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I got it wrong. Yeah, but like, no, I'm going to send you a photo right now, and you can see it for yourself, man. Yeah. Yeah, it was MA. My apologies. And it was branded in a way of AM, right? The A is larger than the M, right? Is it smoking gun evidence about Micheal Avenatti? We don't know. But
what was their connection, though? Like in the article?
Apparently, Claire Bronfman called him and retained him to come and defend her, right? And not just him, man. There's this other lawyer. What's that cuck's name? It's right here in the article somewhere.
Well, hold on. So back up for a second. So Claire Bronfman retained him to represent her. Mm-hmm. But how does that relate to him being tied up in NXIVM?
Because who would she rely upon other than one of her NXIVM fellow travelers? That's what it is.
But what was she tied up in?
NXIVM. She funded NXIVM.
Ah, okay. I see.
Yeah. And she's downtown, reporting in court about her involvement in it. She funded the whole thing.
So she funded. Why did she fund NXIVM?
Because she is a pedophile, and she is Keith Raniere's sex slave, apparently. Yeah. Like it was all at the bidding of Keith Raniere, right? You do what I say and you are my slave, right? That's what it is. It's fealty to Keith Raniere.
But she was a sex slave. She was not a pedophile herself.
We don't know that yet, but this is going to come out in litigation. Believe that.
Okay.
Believe that. Yeah.
Man, This is like, dude, this is like straight up Alex Jones territory here.
I know. Except that it's not, man. It's fact.
Oh, no. I'm not saying that it's not fact. I'm not saying that it's conspiracy theory, but this is totally something like when you were like, well, because she's a pedophile. She's Keith Raniere's sex slave. I was like, my God, dude, I feel like I'm talking to Alex Jones because that's exactly something he would say. I mean that in an endearing way, not like
I get it. Yeah, it's all good, man. It's all good. No worries. I mean, if it was not factual, I would not report it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to get fact shamed.
Yeah. Yes, sir. This nonsense appears to be true. You know, this is coming out in court right now, man. Oh my God.
So these women had to get KRMA branded next to their genitalia.
Yes.
And because the Bronfman girl, Claire Bronfman, I'm clicking on her Wikipedia here right now, because she funded it.
Yeah.
And okay, and she retained him. They're saying, okay, well, maybe the MA part of the tattoo is tied to Micheal Avenatti.
Yes. This is speculative at this point, but I haven't sent that to you.
Oh man, dude, she's the daughter of billionaire philanthropists.
Oh yes,
and former Seagram liquor. So no more Seagram 7. We don't drink. Man. We do not condone Seagram 7 here on HSP. We do not drink it in show. After the show.
Yeah. You know, On my way home from work one night this week, I did get some Seagram's gin, and then as I sat there and looked at it, I was like, man, never again, you know? So my bad, man. Seagram's is so notorious, so ubiquitous that it's hard to avoid, you know? Nonetheless, yeah. Coming at you, man.
That image?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious to see it.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like poking around through this girl's Wikipedia.
Yep.
Oh my God, dude.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I'm looking, dear listener, I'm looking at an image here, and it's 12 different brands, it looks like.
Yes. Yeah. Like cauterized, burned in brands into human women's skin. Burned in with a cauterizing iron, like you would brand a cow.
So that one's KR, and then there's another one, which is MA, and then MA.
Yeah.
Oh, it's turned side. If you turn it sideways, it says MA.
Yes.
I see.
Yes. And that other lawyer, the one who is literally defending Bronfman right now, is Micheal Avenatti's best friend, Mark Garagos, right? And he's in a lot of hot water about a lot of things right now, but nonetheless, he is the lawyer defending her. But she was asked in court if she asked Micheal Avenatti to defend her, and she fainted when she was asked that. She fainted. Yeah.
What is the Avenatti meme? I don't know this meme.
That's what Trump calls him. His name is Avenatti, but Trump clowns him and calls him Avenatti.
Is there a story behind that?
I probably, but I don't know it. Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. This is Nexium is not really something that I knew much about.
Yeah, I've been following it. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. It's female subjugation, right? It's female enslavement. And it also is now, all right, it is definitely a pedophile organization. And here's how I know it, right? They arrested all these people, including Allison Mack, with Nexium about last September, last August, sometime around there, right? And they started throwing down a charge. Then they threw down another charge. Then they threw down another charge. And when it finally got to pedophilia, they were trying them all together as a whole. Claire Bronfman, Allison Mack, Keith Raniere, they were trying them as one whole. But when the pedophile charge dropped, Allison Mack was like, okay, white flag. I want to be charged and tried independently. I'm not with this cuck anymore. Right? Yeah, so there is fire there. There is true fire there.
Man.
Yeah. But she knows. She knows, man. Probably participated. I mean, she was his recruiter. She was Keith Raniere's recruiter. She got more and more and more women involved in Nexium, right? That was her role. She was his first conquest, and then he prevailed upon her to spread it further, and she did for him. This is crazy shit, man. I mean, pardon my French. Sorry about that, dear listener, but this is crazy, crazy shit right here.
Yeah, that's insane. I don't know why I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
God, she's a creepy ass looking woman.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, you talking about Bronfman? Yeah, she is. And man, look at Allison Mack now, man. She used to be kind of, a 3D waifu, 9 out of 10, right? And now she looks creepy, man. They all look creepy,
Huh. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day, man.
Well, I think I hit it in bots. Oh man, in maybe even the single digit episodes or the early teens, I hit it there, right?
In bots, Botstad?
No, sir. No, HSP proper. Yeah, flagship show.
I've heard Nexium, and I've heard you talk about Nexium, but I never went and read about it.
Yeah.
And if, dear listener, if you're wondering, it's NXIVM is the way it's spelled.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Who would have ever thought, man? And hat tip to Jeff Sessions. He was the one who got all these people busted, to be fair. He was the one. So, Mr. Sessions, thank you so much.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Right here in America, man. Right here in America. And, another... This is a win for the right and the left right here, right? This is something we can come together about, as Lindsey Graham says about gun confiscation.
Well,
we can come together about the horrors of NXIVM.
I don't know that we can, man.
How so?
Because I'm beginning to wonder if maybe Biden was in it.
Well, good segue. What's going on with Biden right now, man?
I don't know, man. I think he's just a cuddly individual. He's just one of these guys who just wants to snuggle up right next to you, whisper sweet nothings into your ear, smell your hair.
Yeah.
He's probably the kind of, he's like the guy who, after his girlfriend breaks up with him, he refuses to wash the pillowcase that she used, so he could just lay in bed and sulk and smell it for the next several weeks.
This seems to be true. Yes. Yeah.
All right, I'm quoting from a Daily Caller piece here. CNN and MSNBC have not covered the allegations a former Democratic lawmaker levied against former Vice President Joe Biden in the 12 hours after the allegations surfaced on Friday afternoon. Now, these are allegations, kissing allegations. So Biden got Me Too'd is what this boils down to.
Yeah.
Former Nevada Assemblywoman Lucy Flores, whom Biden campaigned for at the time of the incident in 2014, accused him of inappropriately kissing her. The allegation was published in an essay titled "An Awkward Kiss Changed How I Saw Joe Biden" in New York Magazine. I love the title. It's like, it could have been like an alternative title where it's like, because isn't that like how every woman sort of sizes up a man, is like the kiss, the first one, so it's like an awkward, so it's like she had, this title implicitly says that she had like a crush on him, but then it was an awkward kiss and it changed how she saw him. And she friend zoned him basically. So she friend zoned Biden at that point. So quoting from her, this is Lucy Flores. "I thought to myself, I didn't wash my hair today and the Vice President of the United States is smelling it." Oh my God. All right. And there's some language in here. So, and also, what in the actual fuck? Why is the Vice President of the United States smelling my hair? The article reads in part, "He proceeded to plant a big, slow kiss on the back of my head. My brain couldn't process what was happening. I was embarrassed. I was shocked. I couldn't move and I couldn't say anything. I wanted nothing more than to get Biden away from me," Flores continued, adding that the alleged incident made her feel uneasy, gross, and confused. Man, Biden, he is like that. Ooh, he doesn't have a way with the ladies, I guess.
No, man. No, he doesn't. He relies upon his power to prevail upon them, not his wits, not his looks, for sure. And man, smelling Flores' hair, smelling it the same night Eva Longoria's hair, right? Man, I'm looking at a Zero Hedge piece right now, and they've got the predicted odds of Biden winning. Right? They were very high until today.
Till he got Me Too'd
1 hour ago. He's done, dude. He is done, man. Yeah. And it begs the question, who is the chosen one of the left, right? Biden hasn't even declared yet officially. He's talked to Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams, campaign manager, chief of staff, came out and said, "Yeah, he just trying to talk to us because he white, we black. He wants to legitimize himself as reaching across the aisle to the black folk," right? And that literally happened. And now Biden gets Me Too'd. It's over. It's over. So it begs the question, who is the chosen one? Who is the chosen one?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. I watched some Cory Booker this week.
Yeah.
You know, he may be the chosen one.
He may be. Who is it he's dating? His girlfriend that he loves so much that he learned the value of love from. It's Rosie.
I'll look it up real quick. Hold on.
It's the actress. God. It's right there on the tip of my tongue, man. Anyways, I am going full on in and saying that the chosen one is Michelle Obama. That's who it is.
I don't know, man. I just don't see it.
It's a bold statement. It's a bold statement. I know.
Yeah, I just don't see that in the cards. I think that they're gonna. I don't know. His Wikipedia doesn't say. I don't think.
Oh,
who his girlfriend is.
All right, I'll find it out, man.
Oh wait, here we go. Rosario Dawson. That's what it is.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She just confirmed in March of this year.
Yeah, true.
I mean, he was probably pressuring her. You know, he's like, "Look, I'm running for president. We need to make this Facebook official because I can't run for president and be single."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's trying to create a first lady in the same way that Biden was trying to create a vice presidential runner in the form of Stacey Abrams. He's trying to create a first lady. Right?
He's trying to meme a first Cory lady Booker into existence.
Yeah. because he knows he can't run and win on his platform, right? So he has to build some infrastructure. That's what it is. Yeah.
Well, man, what is it with the men in the Democratic primaries? They're just not good with the ladies. I mean, Booker, in spite of the fact that he's a successful and powerful politician, can't nail down a girl. Biden's over there creeping girls out.
Yeah. Well, Cory Booker is also a pedophile, man. He wrote an article on, he used to write for Slate, and he wrote an article about seducing a 14-year-old. Swear to God.
At what age?
Swear to God.
What age was he when he seduced her?
This is about 4 years ago, so I'm going to call him at that time about 42.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Swear to God, man. Don't believe me. I don't have the article pulled up, but dear listener, go look it up yourself. It's fact. This is fact.
Let me look at the full list here. Let's take an inventory of the list.
Okay.
All right, we've got Stands with a Beer.
Yeah.
John Delaney. We got the Yang Gang. Julian Castro, Tulsi Gabbard, Kirsten Gillibrand, Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah.
Marianne.
And he is impressive. I've got to say, he is very impressive. And I don't think it's in the cards for him right now, but he's 37 years old, mayor of Indianapolis. Is that correct? Yeah. He is impressive. We've not heard the last of him regardless of how this goes.
Yeah. Marianne Williamson, and I agree with that, by the way. Cory Booker, Amy Klobuchar, Bernie Sanders, Jay Inslee, John Hickenlooper, Wayne Messam, and Beta O'Rourke.
Yeah.
So
Robert, son of O'Rourke. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think, dude? Who do you think's the chosen one?
Michelle Obama.
Oh, that's right. You just said that. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think Michelle Obama, she's letting them cannibalize themselves, and then she's going to come in to either her or Hillary are going to come in to save the fray.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
They're gonna be called upon to serve their country.
Right. Amy and I just figured out how we can serve our country. I look forward to announcing it. Skateboard. Yeah. It's going to be a move like Beta just did. It's going to be just like that. Yeah. But
I'm gonna say Elizabeth Warren, no. John Delaney, no.
Yeah.
Yang Gang, it'll get close, but no. The left won't allow that to happen.
Yeah.
Julian Castro. I mean, all they have to do is just reference the alt-right support of Yang, and then it'll be done. So they've got that.
And by the way, I wanted to tell you, and I forgot to tell you last night when we were on the horn, There is a certain leftist with whom I work who told me, man, that's just a troll, bro. That's just a troll. I'm like, yeah, no, it's not a troll. The alt-right literally supports Yang Gang right now. They are Yang Gang.
They are unironically Yang Gang.
Yeah. He's like, nah, man, that's just a troll. They're just trying to blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, you're so mistaken. You're so mistaken. But sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, that's entirely accurate. Julian Castro, no. Tulsi Gabbard, she might be the chosen one.
She's not chosen. She might win, but she's not the chosen one.
Okay, fair enough. I'll go with you on that. Kirsten Gillibrand, no. Kamala Harris, no. Pete Buttigieg, not yet.
Not yet.
Marianne Williamson, no. Cory Booker, maybe, but he would be a weak chosen one.
Yeah.
Amy Klobuchar, no. Bernie Sanders, definitely not. Jay Inslee, no. John Hickenlooper, maybe. Wayne Messam, Beto O'Rourke, no. I think Beto, he's just too weird for the left.
Yeah, man. Yeah, this bullshit he's been pulling, I think is just it's a step too far. Yeah, man.
Yeah, that, and he's just a total cuck. Like,
yeah,
he's just one of these flimsy, weak, little malleable people that's like, oh no, I'm not democratic socialist. Oh no, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not radical like that, man. You know, but then he'll turn around and be like, yeah, universal health care for all. Totally.
Yeah, man. It's all good. Oh my God. And you know what? But of all of these that we have just named so far, whoever goes up against Donald Trump is going to get chewed up and spit out, man. Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't see any of these people. I don't see any of these candidates putting up a real opposition to Trump or being able to deal with him on a debate stage.
Yeah. 51% approval overall, the highest of any president at this point in time in their presidency. Yeah, man. And if he takes away funding from Honduras, Guatemala, Mexico, maybe next, he builds the wall, it's done, man. Yeah. Pardons Roger Stone, George Papadopoulos, pardons them, right? And he just goes relentless here on out, which I think he is going to do, Luke. I'm not kidding. I think he is bringing it. Yeah. I think he...
You like that meme I just sent you?
Dear listener, I'm sorry I didn't finish that statement. Luke just sent me a meme. There was a time back in about 2014 or so where Joe Biden accosted a little child, right? And there's a lot of speculation about what he whispered into her ear, but it was something bad, right? Well, Luke just sent me a meme with Adam Schiff's face photoshopped on her face. Oh my God. Oh God. So much winning, dude. So much winning. All right, Mr. President, we know you listen to the show. We know you're in the saddle with us. Listen, you've been listening to us and you've been taking our advice. All right, here's what's up. Continue to build the wall, right? Take Mexico's money away, right? Renegotiate the trade deal. Tax, what's that word I'm looking for, Luke? Where they send their money to Mexico. I'm sorry, not retributions. What is it?
Yeah, I think it is called retributions. No, remittances. No.
Remittances.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Tax remittances. Mr. President, you win in a landslide home run victory of all time. Trust the HSP boys on this. This election now, Mr. President, after this week, this is yours to lose. This is not yours to maybe win, maybe not win. This is your election to lose right now. So don't F this up. Get it right. Get it right.
I disagree on the tax remittances thing. I mean, Germany does that, actually. Europe does this. And it really pisses me off because when I want to send money to the United States for whatever reason, I can't do it. I have to literally either mail cash or do it in some sort of other way, like buy a gift card for them or something like this. And it really pisses me off.
Yeah, you are a principled man, right? And you are philosophically consistent in every way. And so I get why you say that, right? But what the difference is here between you in Germany and here in the United States, as opposed to the United States and Mexico, is that we are propping up their entire economy with remittances right now. There's a big difference there.
Yeah, I've thought about this a lot, actually, especially recently, because I when I think about the concept of remittances, something just immediately jumps out at me that says I don't really care, but I have to think about that and understand why. And in thinking about it, I mean, if you think about especially the work that immigrants do, which is primarily service sector related work. So what does that money represent? Well, what it represents is wealth created or value created. So if somebody has $30 in that pocket, that value creation has already happened. It's already happened. It's captured. It's not leaving the country. The value represented by that $30 is captured and it occurred and it's in the past and it's in the US and it's never going to leave. I think that's what people don't really think about. The value has already been created.
That's a good point, man. That's a really good point. Huh.
Yeah. Huh. That lawn has already been mowed. You know what I mean? Yes, and so when they send that $30 over, they're not sending, that's not value leaving the country. That value has already occurred. It's already been created and consumed. And that $30 is just the representation of that. And so when they send and that's theirs, that's their property. They created that value. It's theirs. And in my opinion, they can do whatever the hell they want with it. And it's not propping up their economy. I mean, maybe it's helping their economy. I don't know, but I don't really have a problem with that though. I mean,
it surpasses oil industry.
Yeah.
In Mexico.
But again, like I don't care. I don't care if they want to prop up their own home economy, then whatever, good for them. I don't care. It doesn't, my point is that it doesn't hurt the United States. I think that's the economic fallacy people get wrong here is they think that that's wealth. And I used to think the same thing too. Actually, like 10 years ago, I used to love like throwing this statistic around. But that's not wealth leaving the country. The wealth was already created. That value transaction, that value creation already happened in the United States, and there's no going back on that. So that isn't wealth leaving the country. It's just them sending their money that's theirs now at that point.
Yeah. Well, I do agree with you 100%. Don't get me wrong. I do. But I do think that this is inextricably linked with and the fact that Mexico will not stop this flood of immigration coming across the southern border. And I believe that in the same way that tariffs in trade are a bargaining chip to make free trade happen, I think also that taxing remittances is a bargaining chip to making Mexico defend their northern border. Actually, their southern border, man. Defend your own border. Don't stop doing this bullshit to us, right? Do your work, right? You're sovereign. We're sovereign. So stop compromising our sovereignty. I think it's a bargaining chip. But I agree with you 100%, man. I agree.
Yeah.
Other than somebody here illegally should not be making any damn money here whatsoever, and they certainly should not be supported by our welfare system, which they are.
I mean, some of them are, sure, and some of them aren't, but so are Americans, and I equally disagree with that as well.
Well, 60% are illegals supported by our welfare system. 60%.
Yeah, that's just as immoral as homegrown American citizens.
Yeah.
So I don't delineate between those two. It literally doesn't bother me at all. Like. I mean, it doesn't. The delineation doesn't bother me at all because I think both of it is equally wrong. I think it should be completely and entirely abolished. And
Yeah, we agree on this. Two separate paths to the same inevitable conclusion. We do agree.
Yeah,
on this.
Yes, inextricably linked to the Hourde. I don't know. I don't see the logical connection there.
Because if you threaten Mexico with the fact, if you don't stop this bullshit from running up through your vertical country, we tax remittances. We compromise your entire economy.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Let me think about that for a moment. Yeah, I mean that's a tool. I mean, again, I think that this is why, like, I'm not necessarily against the wall. Just build the wall, and then you can still respect property rights. Yes, sir. Because I mean, is their property, like, for sure. So you're I'm against taxation. This is also why I'm against forced taxation. So I want to respect property rights. So build the wall, and then we're not talking about what tools we're using. Just respect property rights, and that's it. And the wall falls under that as well. All of this falls under the same genus of property rights. That's it. So you don't need to cuck on your own principles to have a tool. Just respect property rights.
Yep. 100% agreed. 100%. Yeah.
What do we got next, dude? So we've got Avenatti, the pedophile. We've got Biden, the creepy friend-zoned politician. Dude, I've got a topic I wanted to hit really quick.
Okay.
I forgot to mention it before the show started. But so Robert and I covered this, I think, in episode 2, or maybe it was 1 of Random Walk, and I should probably give an update about Random Walk as well. Spoiler alert, there is no real update. We're just trying to get that put together still. But Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, has now come out and all but admitted. We said this on one of the HSPs. Yeah, we said this in Random Walk. We called this. We said, no, this is not climate change. This isn't. This isn't PG&E. This isn't any of these people. This isn't any of that going on. This is a systematic destruction of the timber industry in California. That's the cause of these wildfires. So what they began doing is right around the 1960s, 1970s, the environmentalists started passing all these laws and legislation in the attempt to destroy the timber industry because they didn't like them going in and cutting down trees. But what they don't realize is that California, and we're covering stuff that we've covered in a past show, but it's probably worth mentioning now here in brief, that in the early 1800s, California was not a forest. It was not a forest. The forest was brought there by settlers, and now the Indians controlled that. They didn't want the forest. They did control. They burned it down. They burned it down every now and again because they wanted lush grass fields for small game. They wanted to boost small game populations. So this is a new phenomenon. And what happened is when settlers came in, well, they wanted to build lots of structures. What do you need to build lots of structures like homes and buildings and for businesses? Well, you need wood. So they planted wood and they started managing it. And they created these huge, vast forests, and they did that for 100 years, perfectly fine, no fire problems. Well, in the 1960s, 1970s, the environmentalists came along. They started passing all these laws. I put it up on my Twitter. I found the rate of timber production in California year by year and tracked it going down and dropping. And I don't remember. It was like, I don't remember what it was quantified in, but it was several thousand dropping down to a few hundred. And by the 1990s, the timber industry in California had all been destroyed. Now, I've personally hiked through the forests in California. I've hiked through Big Sur, and I can tell you that it is a dense forest, lots of undergrowth. It's obvious it hasn't been kept up. There's fallen trees everywhere. It is a tinderbox waiting to go up. I know, I've seen it with my own eyes. It is a tinderbox waiting to go up in flames. And this is because they destroyed the timber industry, because normally it would be the timber industry in there cleaning out the forest floor, making sure old trees are being cut down and harvested or removed entirely, managing the forest. Well, it's not a profitable venture anymore because of the environmentalists. And it just has turned the mountains, primarily the mountains in California, into these tinder boxes, and they went up in flames. Well, now finally, and we have been saying this for, I should say, Zero Gravity Media in general. We've been saying this for months now, that this is what this is about. This is environmentalist policies that are responsible for thousands of deaths and tens of thousands of homes being destroyed and billions of dollars in property damage. This is environmentalist property. And now Gavin Newsom is coming out saying as much. So I'm quoting here from a CBS local article. This is Gavin Newsom quoting, "We lost 5 human beings here a few years back. This community is still trying to recover," Governor Gavin Newsom said, standing with a crowd of local officials and recovery workers. "We need to step up our game. Dare I say it? Get our act together." I love that, Russ. Dare I say it? Get our act together. Why do you have to preface "get our act together" with "dare I say it"? Like,
he's on poll. That's why he's on poll. So.
yeah, maybe he's on poll. I mean, but shouldn't you just simply have your act together?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
So going on in the article, specifically, CAL FIRE is being asked to accelerate its plans for risk mitigation, fire breaks, and prescribed burns across 94,000 acres. Ooh, did you hear that? Controlled burns. They're gonna burn vegetation. Across 94,000 acres, 35 specific areas deemed most at risk to catastrophic fire. Quote, "We probably have it somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 that we believe is very important throughout the state," said CAL FIRE Director Tom Porter. And these 35 specific areas are the most important of those. To make those 35 projects happen quickly, the governor is waiving some environmental rules. He says jobs that could have taken 2 years can hopefully be completed within the next 2 months. Thank you, environmentalist rules, for literally putting people's lives at risk.
Yeah.
When we talk about environmentalism being deadly, this is what we are talking about. They are literally, and they have put lives at risk, and people have lost their lives due to environmentalist laws and rules.
Yes, sir.
And he closes out, he says, "We certainly should be able to do so to save people's lives." Well, you know what? I would certainly hope you would, Gavin Newsom.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, man.
Yeah, it is, man. Such a cuck, man. He has charisma, though. I've met Gavin Newsom. I met Gavin Newsom and Jerry Brown at the same time, or Willie Brown. Sorry about that. Willie Brown at the same time. I met them, but I've met Gavin Newsom twice since that first meeting. Yeah. Very charismatic.
I met Willie Brown too.
Oh, you sure did. Oh, dear listener. Oh my goodness. There is this, we're not going to talk too much about it, but there is one time when the HSP boys were in the house in a bar and we fact shamed Willie Brown so bad. And
you tell him who Willie Brown is, first of all.
Willie Brown is the former mayor of San Francisco. He is the, Kamala Harris was his whore, right? When she became the AG of San Francisco County, which is the same as San Francisco City, right? She paid to play in the administration of Willie Brown, right? And he didn't run for election. Gavin Newsom won that election. And so that's who he is, man. You know, we the bridge now is who Willie Brown is. Okay. Well, Luke and I encountered this son of a bitch one night, and it was epic, if I may say, which I do.
I don't even remember really what went down, to be honest with you.
He got pissed off at us, man. He got pissed off. We were talking about being great again, and we bought him a bunch of drinks. And
it was. I think I looked at him and I was like, "I'm sorry, I don't know you. What's your name?"
Yeah, you did. Yeah. That pissed him off the most. Yeah, that pissed him off the most. Yeah,
I forgot about
the bartender off. To be fair, as well, because they're like, "Oh my God, you don't know who Willie Brown is." And you're like, well, "I don't give a f who Willie Brown is." You know what I mean? Yeah. But we bought him at least 3 drinks that night and just kept fact shaming him over and over, not directly, politely, dear listener. Luke and I was just bringing the business.
We're not mean people. We're actually very polite.
Yeah. We're just bringing the business between ourselves, in appropriate volume so that Willie Brown could hear it himself. And oh my God, Luke, that's one of the best nights of my life, man. That's one of the best nights of my life. We laughed about that for months and months, and here years later, we're still. Yeah. So trust us, dear listener, about this. We did it right. We made you proud, even though you didn't exist back then, and HSP didn't exist. And well, you existed, but you didn't exist as a dear listener. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, right? But we did the business even back then in, I don't know, Luke, 2015?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I'm looking for break audio.
Man, I don't know how much longer I can go, man. This is like a bullfight. I don't know. Well, you know what? I've got Lindsey Grahamnesty break audio.
Okay, yeah, dude, hit it, man. Let's go to break.
All right,
we'll come back. I need to hit up the lifestyle challenge. I'll
That's true. Also, we haven't talked about that.
Yeah. And I'll also just kind of tell. I was gonna say I'll tell dear listener about the website update, but just go look, and if you have feedback, just let me know. And
it's fantastic, man. I'll tell you my feedback that as I've told you, the image loads too slowly.
Yeah, I need to download the image. Yeah,
fantastic. It's so pro, man. We're finally pro tier now. Pro tier. Yeah, I appreciate it, Luke. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks for the compliments, man.
Always.
My goal was just to make it not look amateur, because it's an amateur doing it. I don't know web design. I mean, I know I can build websites and whatnot, but I don't know. Web design is different. You need to have an eye for aesthetics. You need to know color palettes, and that is not my forte. I am an audio guy. I know music. I do not know the visual arts.
Mm-hmm. Well, I do happen to know visual, and you did well, sir. You did very well. Yeah.
All right, dude. Well, thanks for the compliments. Let's go to break, and then we'll come back. We'll hit the lifestyle challenge. Maybe during the break, I can find us a grab bag special. But if not,
oh man,
I don't know.
Damn.
I don't know,
All
Russ.
Right, so you're talking about a long haul here, man. I'm kind of 2 sheets to the wind. I'm not 3 sheets to the wind yet, but I'm 2 sheets to the wind. You know,
as I've heard one dear listener say before, you are gently stewed.
Yes. Yeah. I'm feeling good, man.
All right.
I'm feeling good.
Well, let's cut to break, and then when we come back, we'll hit lifestyle challenge, and then we can call an audible, whichever way we want to go at that point.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes, man. This is the most experimental show ever. We did not plan this. Dear listener, we have not planned
Russ actually messaged me right before, and he's like, "Man, I'm not feeling it today." And I was like, "Why don't we just do just talk about whatever we want to talk about?" We just collected a handful of topics, and that's this show.
Hashtag winning. Hashtag winning is the only theme. That's the name of this show, Luke. It's hashtag winning. Yeah. So anyways, what's fixing to happen right now, dear listener? Senator Lindsey Grahamnesty held a press conference about the Mueller Report, and he dropped some pink, if not red pills along the way. I'm going to start it. It's a 30-minute press conference, so we're not going to play all of it, right? I'm going to start about 2.5 minutes in. So how long you want to take, Luke? Maybe 10 minutes?
Yeah,
10 minutes,
that sounds good.
Something like that? All right. So 10 minutes real time, dear listener. Back at you before you know it.
Be dismissed is for cause. I see no cause when it comes to Mr. Mueller. He needs to be able to do his job independent of any political influence. I pledge to the American people, as a Republican, to make sure that Mr. Mueller can continue to do his job without any interference. November 2018. I am confident the Mueller investigation will be allowed to come to a solid conclusion, that there will be no political influence put on Mr. Mueller by Mr. Whitaker at the time to do anything other than Mr. Mueller's job. I am confident that Mr. Mueller will be allowed to do his job without interference. January 2019. Since his appointment, I have supported Special Counsel Mueller's ability to conduct his investigation without interference. Well, the report's over. It was completed without interference. And from the day that Mr. Mueller was appointed, I felt that he was the right guy at the right time for the American people to give us a definitive answer about whether or not the Trump campaign or anyone associated with it worked with the Russians in a proper fashion in the 2016 election. It's clear to me from the 4-page summary by Attorney General Barr that the Russians did in fact hack into the DNC. The Podesta emails, it was the Russians. It wasn't some 300-pound guy sitting on a bed somewhere. And the conclusion was firm, without equivocation, that no one on the Trump campaign colluded with the Russians when it came to the 2016 election. As to the obstruction of justice matter, apparently the special counsel gave some of this and some of that, and Mr. Barr and Rosenstein concluded that the evidence was insufficient to move forward on obstruction of justice by the president or anyone around his team. So I hope soon to have as much of the report released as possible. And what happens next? What happens next is that I have been talking since 2017, the end of 2017, about the other side of the story. And nobody much appears to care, but I hope you will find some interest now, that the FISA warrant issued against Carter Page, based on a dossier prepared by Christopher Steele, is at a minimum disturbing. Whether or not it's illegal, I don't yet know. So I'm going to get answers to this. If no one else cares, it seems to be Republicans do. And that's sad, because if the shoe were on the other foot, it would be front page news all over the world. The double standard here has been striking and, quite frankly, disappointing. I am 100% convinced that if the Republican Party had hired Mr. Steele to go to Russia and investigate Clinton, and the report was prepared and given to the Department of Justice, used to get a warrant against a Clinton associate, and the underlying information in the dossier proved to be garbage, everybody in the world would have it on the front page. It would be endless chatter on the cable networks. I'm also convinced if the agents involved in investigating Clinton, if the shoe were on the other foot, hated her and wanted Trump to win, we'd be having a thorough discussion. I'm also convinced if they interviewed Trump with a couple of his associates there, not under oath, and already made up a decision not to charge him, that they would be outraging his country. So the rule of law applies both to Republicans and Democrats. And why do we have a special counsel? In rare circumstances, to have somebody outside the Department of Justice to take a look at a hot topic. I know the president did not believe that a special counsel should have been appointed. I do. It was clear to me that Jeff Sessions was part of the Trump campaign. And when it came time to look at whether or not the Trump campaign did anything wrong with the Russians, it's impossible for Jeff Sessions to render a verdict because he was part of the campaign. That made eminent sense to me then and now. What makes no sense to me is all the abuse by the Department of Justice and the FBI, the unprofessional conduct, the shady behavior. Nobody seems to think that's much important. Well, that's going to change, I hope.
All right, welcome back to HSP episode number 33. Russ and I are here burning it down.
3.
We're into segment 3. So we stuck to the we said at the beginning we're going to stick to the we don't know if we're going to stick to the format or not, but we basically did somehow.
We did somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And dear listener, apologies. Lindsey Gramnesty was on the left channel only. I don't know why. I'll fix it in post, man. I'll fix it in post, you know? Yeah.
No worries. I didn't notice. I had it in both.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Maybe it went down that way. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, but all right. Well, let's. I don't know if we're gonna do grab bag special or not. We may just call it. We're trying to keep the shows under 3 hours, and I think we're right at about 2.5 hours right now. So maybe we'll do the lifestyle challenge and then call it. But
yeah.
So for those who are unaware, we are in the midst of a zero gravity media lifestyle challenge, wherein we were originally challenged by one of our dear listeners, who said that we need to be living the capitalist lifestyle, living the best life that you can here on Earth. And we took him up on that challenge. There is now a post on the website. You are still welcome to join if you want. We are in week 1. It commenced officially on Wednesday after we pushed it back 1 week. And yeah, that's basically it. It's kind of whatever you want to do, whatever you feel like you need to improve upon. For me personally, it was basically fitness and nutrition. That's like the only area in my life that I need to get better at. So in any case, how's your challenge? What was your challenge, Russ, and how has it been going?
Well, what I wanted to do was get on the yoga mat, and I did, and I have been suffering on the yoga mat, right? I have been doing yoga, watching Tucker every night, right? But I will be honest, I had some setbacks this week, Wednesday through Friday. Man, I worked so hard, and so I have not been back on the mat. I am still sore, though. Nonetheless, I am sore, right? So my challenge is to get on the yoga mat, shake the dust off, get back into the gym. That's it for me.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's fair. But you were doing yoga the week before that too, right? Like you had kind of already started the.
Yes, I was.
Because you were super
I
sore.
started earlier. That's true. Yeah.
Because you kept messaging me about how sore you were.
Yeah. And to be fair, man, like with yoga, this is what's great about yoga, right? It takes about 2 to 3 weeks to get back in the saddle on the mat again, right? And so the soreness is receding. The water's receded. Yeah, it's getting better. It's getting better. Yeah. And man, I don't have a 6-pack yet, but I've got the turtle shell already. Fat though I am, I've got the turtle shell around my fat, right? In 2 short weeks. It's good, man. It's good.
That's good. I mean, I think I've got more of like a tortoise shell going on, but
well, yeah. That's what I meant. Same here.
Well, that's good. Yeah, well done, dude.
Thank you.
In yoga is so hard, man. I mean, I remember I was lifting a lot. I was really in really good shape. I was like, I'm going to try this yoga thing. This looks so easy. And dude, I was like, within 5 minutes, I was like, nope, put me back under some 100-pound dumbbells. I'd rather do that than try and keep doing this.
Yeah. I mean, I love them both, but both are hard. But like our boy, our definitely your boy, our mutual boy, and who is a beast, man. He's an absolute beast. He charged us correctly, and I do appreciate it so much. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. I have I've been lifting and eating. So my diet regimen, I'm doing keto and intermittent fasting. Now, yes, it's true. My chicken nuggets do not fall in that keto diet, but I'm on vacation and I figured I would splurge for one night, but it's actually spilling over into 2 because I had extra chicken nuggets. And
stockpiled. Prepped.
Yeah, dude, I'm totally prepped. Yeah. Had them stuffed away. I actually felt really bad about this, Russ, because last night I had like put them on the top shelf in the fridge in the very back. And Jessica hadn't said anything all day today.
Uh-huh.
And I started to feel really bad because I was like, man, am I hiding something from my wife? And I was like, I've got these chicken nuggets hidden away in the back of the fridge. It's like, maybe I should tell her about that. you know.
Yeah.
And then it hit me. I was like, you know, if this is like the extent of my like marital concerns, I think that's pretty good.
You're good.
You know.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah. You're good. You're good. Yeah.
Yeah.
She found them anyway. She knew they were there.
No, I told her.
Knew.
I told her that I was sandbagging some nuggets in the back of the fridge.
Yeah.
She was like, where did those come from? I was like, well, you know, I went out last night. You know where I go at the end of the night. Somebody found me, man. When Jessica and I actually, we met in Belgium, and I had gone to like party up in the Netherlands to see a friend of somebody. So like a family member that was back in Texas. I knew this Dutch girl who was living obviously back in the Netherlands because she was doing a study abroad at A&M when I was going to school there, and I was going to go visit her for one weekend. And on the way there, I got lost. I was like 3 hours behind schedule because like in Dutch, like, you know, Den Bosch and, you know, Den Haag. Well, that's actually an abbreviation. The real city name is Sertogenbosch. And, so they abbreviate it, and that the name starts with an apostrophe. So like the girl that was dropping, I had a girl dropping me off, and I was going to meet another girl, and the girl that was dropping me off at the train station in Eindhoven, which is like in southern Netherlands, was like, "Oh yeah, you need to just go to Den Bosch. Just buy a train ticket for Den Bosch." I was like, "Okay." So I go in there, and like all the city names start with an apostrophe. I'm like, "What the hell is this?" So I miss my train because I'm trying to figure out which train ticket I need. And so then I arrive in Den Bosch like 3 hours late. It's like 2 a.m. or it's like 1 a.m, and I was supposed to be there at like 10. And my phone had died on the way because it took so long. And so I get there, and of course the girl that I'm supposed to meet is not there. And I'm stranded, dude. I have a dead phone, have no idea where I am, no hotel because I'm supposed to stay on this girl's couch. So I was like, I'll just go to McDonald's. I'll jump out my laptop. Maybe they have Wi-Fi. I'll charge my phone. So I just like go to McDonald's, and so I fire up my laptop, grab a couple double cheeseburgers, you know, go to work on those double cheeseburgers, you know, and and right at 2 a.m, the girl that I'm supposed to meet just comes walking into the McDonald's, and I was like, "How did you know?" She was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're here." I was like, and she was like, "I knew that you were going to be here." And I was like, "How did you know?" She's like, "Well, I called our mutual friend back in Texas," and I was like, "I can't find Luke anywhere. I've looked for him at the train station. He wasn't there. His phone's dead." And our mutual friend told her, the Dutch girl, she was like, "Okay, here's how to find him. Wait." She's like, "Where are you right now?" She's like, "Well, I'm in the bar district because that's where we were going to go after I met him." She's like, okay. Just wait till 2 a.m. and then just go to the nearest McDonald's to the bar district." And she was like, "Okay." And she's like, "He will be at that McDonald's at 2 a.m. when the bars close. The nearest one." She was like, "Okay." She went there, and sure enough, that's exactly where I was.
Oh my God, man. Oh my God.
So yeah, I got some chicken nuggets. Not Jessica knows about them. She knows that I've got them hidden in the top of the fridge. Yeah. But you know, not withholding any information from my significant other. So yeah, I mean, other than that, diet's been going well, and lifting has been going really well. Dan and I are kind of in Dan's one.
Oh.
What's up?
Oh. Doc's Dan.
Oh, no, it's all good, dude. He's commenting under his real name on the website.
Okay, cool.
No,
all right, Dan, welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome.
I would not have said that if he hadn't used his real name when he commented on the post.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
all right. Well,
so anyways, he and I he is plowing ground, and we want to do some writing on this, on like basically no split weightlifting. So you know how like the split that I always used to use with you and Robert was chest, legs, arms, shoulders, back. It was a 5-day split.
Yep.
Well, I've eliminated that entirely. I'm doing no split. Every day, I take inventory of my body, and then I do what it's just like in philosophy. You take inventory of reality, you observe the facts of reality, and then you determine some sort of course of action based upon those facts. No different here. So just abandon. It's like a split is like economic regulation as applied to a workout. It just eliminates the possibility for learning, for smart decision making, for changes. And sometimes you need to do that. Maybe you're traveling and you miss a couple days, and so you need to double up and do like chest and tries or shoulders and buys, things like this. And so I'm doing that now, and I'm really, really, really enjoying it. It has totally reignited my fire for lifting, because
that's awesome.
It's a total new way to lift, and I'm just absolutely loving it. Thank you, Dan. Huge shout out for plowing the intellectual ground. This is a physical ground. He's been working through this for months now, privately on his own, and he has totally pioneered something in a new approach to weightlifting, and it's really awesome and really exciting, because I'm his first sort of test subject, really.
Yeah.
And I'm loving it. It's totally reignited my fire. So.
All right. Well, I've got a couple things to say. First of all, Dan, thank you for doxing. Thank you for self-doxing. Welcome to the trail. You are a fantastic writer. So you got to bring this content to HSP. We would appreciate, or to ZGM. We'd appreciate it. All right. Secondly, this is what yoga is about. This is how I practice yoga, right? What do I need right now? But like, I'm so regimented in the weightlifting thing that you and Robert and I used to do, right? But like, man, what I'm doing is planks and leg lifts, right? To get this gut down fast. You know what I mean? And so I greet my body every day, address what it needs, and that's how I roll. And so like, this is kind of like, okay, the philosophy is this, right? What do you need? What do you need to work on today? Where are you at right now?
What does it covet, Clarice? Read Marcus Aurelius.
Yeah.
What does your body covet, Clarice? Shoulders and buys.
Yeah, man. Yeah, gut. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Man, Dan, you are such a stallion. Straight up, you are a stallion, and you need to get in here in these hallowed halls. I will say, man, Dan has an open invitation. Always.
Yeah, dude, totally.
Yeah.
And I think he knows that, but I don't know, man. Okay. I don't know if it's his format. Everybody has their own format. I think writing is where he likes to, where he lives, and that's what he's good at. But, Dan, I know you're going to be listening. You always have an open invitation on the show, but don't feel obligated. Do whatever format suits you, and do whatever you enjoy doing, man. But, dude,
absolutely.
Yeah, huge shout out for plowing this ground. Yeah, it is sort of like, actually, dude, I think he even maybe had said that, like in our WhatsApp chat, that he was like, this is almost like yoga for weightlifting or something.
Yeah, I'll be damned. Huh.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna. You're not gonna catch me doing downward dog like in the squat rack.
Well,
you know what I mean. But
fair enough. I do that bullshit, but
but not in the squat rack.
Yeah, I mean, true. Yeah, I can. Man, this is one thing that pissed me off about lifting weights. I could never get the squat rack. I could never get it. There was like, all right, you know how they used to put their quarters on video games. So there's this whole long line of quarters, and yours was the 10th, right? That's how the squat.
Oh my God, I totally forgot about that, dude.
Yeah. And Robert too, not just me, Robert too, man. We would always get cucked on the fucking squat. Oh, sorry about that, dear listener. My bad. We'd always get cucked on the squat rack.
Okay, dude, I found when he mentioned the yoga. You ready for this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Do you want me to read? It's like 2 paragraphs. Do you want the whole thing, or do you want the one sentence? They're not long paragraphs. It's like a few sentences each.
Yeah.
All right.
Bring it on, man. Bring it on.
All right, Dan, I'm sorry if I'm content cucking you here, but he'll bring it at some point. All right. It's all stuff that we already know. Proper form is more important than lifting heavier. Compound movements are more effective than simple ones. Free weights are more effective than machines. All this is just a given to anyone that lifts and has physical explanations. But now we're getting into a philosophical explanation, which then lets you apply it with a broader stroke. All those things that are better require greater mental engagement than the alternatives. It's why Smith machines are fucking worthless. Everyone knows you can bench more on a Smith than a true bench. But when you make the switch to a real bench, you will not only be lifting less than you could on a Smith, you often will have actually decreased how much you can lift on a real bench. Yes, there's a physical explanation. You haven't been using the muscles that stabilize that movement and let you find your slot. But there's also a philosophical one. You haven't been forcing your brain to be engaged in that movement. You've taught it.
Good.
You've taught it that you're just pushing the machine and it can check it down to the subconscious. From another perspective, you could say I'm doing yoga with tens of thousands of pounds of weight added on.
Dude, that's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, dude. So this is like the stuff that we've been talking about the last week or two about this challenge and lifting and stuff. It's awesome. I'm really, really, really enjoying this dialogue. And and the ground that he's really plowing. I don't want to take credit for it. You know, I want to be very clear about this, that he's done this on his own. It's very, I'm honestly, this is one of the most, Dan, I want you to know that this is one of the most like groundbreaking, in my opinion, things that I've come across in a long, long time.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah. Couldn't agree more.
All right. Now, what were you saying about the squat rack? The quarters and the
Well, what I was saying is that Robert and I always got cucked on the squat rack, right? Because there was such a long line to get into the squat rack, right? So like the comparison with quarters and video games is that back in the day, in the 80s, right? You're trying to play a video game, you're trying to play Dragon's Lair or Star Wars.
For me, it was Killer Instinct.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know it well. Yeah, pole position, right? All these games, you had to put a quarter on the machine, and that was your quarter, and that was where you were in the line.
It's same with
right?
pool tables too.
And
yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now there's an app for that.
Just so. Well, that's true. That's true. And so like, yeah, that's how it was with the squat rack. I would always just get cucked by the line for the squat rack.
Yeah,
always,
you would get
right?
line cucked.
And Robert too, man.
You'd get line cucked.
Yeah. I mean, socialism, man, you know, there's a line. You got to queue up, man. You know, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You know?
The way it ought to be is that the strongest gets to use it, gets to get put to the top.
Exactly right, man. Which I would not be. To be fair, man, squats are so hard. Yeah. And so what Robert and I would do was go do deadlifts until the squat rack opened up. That's what we would do. Yeah. In the meantime, we do this.
So
yeah,
you would use the opening of the squat rack as an excuse to end deadlifts early. It's very clever. I like that.
That may be true. That may be the hamster here. That may be true. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I have two things on that, man. Like for deadlifts, I use the cage, like the thing that surrounds you. So it's almost like a farmer's deadlift. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I've just never gotten used to just straight up normal barbell deadlift. And then on squats, man, dude, I've had open surgeries on both my shoulders. They have sewn me up that my arms cannot bend back and my wrists are not flexible enough to do. So like traditional barbell back squat and traditional front squat barbell, out of the question. I cannot do it. I am now medically, it's medically impossible for me. So I use, that cocky little padded bar where you can hold on to the handles. And I know I'm sure I look like a total just fairy in there using that compared to the normal barbell back squats, but I don't care. Whatever. I'm over this whole like, oh, I wonder what I look like. I really don't care at all.
Straight up.
And then I use like these the sandbags for front squats. So like I did a killer leg day. I did deadlifts, then I did front squats, then I did walking lunges, then I did hams, quads, and calves. All in.
Good.
And
Good,
yeah, and
man.
I wasn't like terribly sore the next day. In fact, I almost wasn't sore at all. It's so I'm officially my legs are officially through the soreness phase.
Yeah. The lifestyle challenge is working. That's
Totally,
what it
dude.
is.
Totally.
It's working. Yeah.
So
Well done, brother.
There's when you talk about the lifestyle challenge, like being prepared, there's a couple of things. I mean, first of all, yeah, you need to be working out, lifting. Look, you also need to have some fresh cheeseburgers in the fridge, just in case you need to bug out of town. You're gonna have to have some muscles to hike those cheeseburgers up some mountain to find safety. So it's a function of cheeseburger conservation. We are cheeseburger conservationists here at HSP.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Nobody can say we aren't conservationists.
Absolutely. Yeah, man.
All right, dude. Well, does that do it for this very freestyle, improv HSP episode number 33?
I think so, brother. And like, dear listener, all right, don't forget this week, hashtag winning. We're winning every which way. It feels good. Enjoy it. Man, Luke, great show, brother.
Yeah, great show.
You're winning too, man. Yeah.
Yeah, great show, man. The show is one for the books, it feels like, for sure.
I think so. Yeah. Like number 18 was one in a bad way. There were several others that are ones for the books, but man, I'm just so glad that it was number 33 in the house, which is one for the books.
Yeah, indeed, dude. For sure.
All right. Yes, sir. All right, let's do it.
All right. Well, until next time, Russ and I are going to probably do some post-show shit posting here. Maybe someday we'll invite you to our post-show shit posts. Those are the best ones. And and they usually last just as long. Last weekend was I remember telling Russ last weekend, I was like, I don't know why these people find it's like such a feat, such an accomplishment to live stream for 6 hours. I was like, I'm on hour 8 and I'm going strong. And we'll leave it to you at some point to know the end of that story.
Yeah. You're going to have to pay some shekels for this, dear listener. You're going to have to pay some money. That's what's up. Yeah. Kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah.
HSP or socialists, everything is always free. I'm sorry. I don't mean to conflate.
Yeah. All right, dude. Well, let's call it, man.
We're not. We're capitalists. Yeah, we're capitalists.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, let's call it, brother. I'm getting there, man. I'm getting there. I burned it down, man. You didn't burn it down like I did, but I'm burning it down, man. So yeah, I got to get up out of here.
It's all good, dude. It's all good. All right. Well, till next time, dear listener, we will hit you up on HSP episode number 34. Give us any feedback for the show at feedback@zero-gravity-media.com. Don't forget to follow us on @ZeroGravityMed on Twitter, @ZeroGravityMed on Facebook, and drop by our website, www.zero-gravity-media.com. Till then, dear listener, Russ, have a good night, brother.
We'll be in touch, man. Great show, brother. Great show, dear listener. We'll be in touch soon.
Sounds good. Peace.
Late.